Hello everyone, welcome to the finals of Premier Tournaments. We're having today YOYO vs Omni. How excited are you, Colonel?
I think it's definitely going to be a pretty good series we have cooked up for today. Obviously, after our group stage, quarters, and semis, we are here with two of the best teams in NAEU IDV. Omni, of course, up against YOYO, as you mentioned. Two very heavily competitive teams, with the exception of maybe Rival, of course, being obviously our top team. These are definitely two of the strongest teams that we have available, so I definitely think that we are going to be in for a fun one today with, again, two of the strongest current rosters we have in our regions coming up against each other.
Undoubtedly. As we know, Omni is a very popular team. We already know most of the members. We have seen them play before in other tournaments, such as Koa and everything. And YOYO is a team of popular high tiers. You probably have seen their users as well in the high tier ranks. None of them is to be underestimated, so I'm expecting a very close matchup.
And yeah, we'll see how it goes here, as already we are getting our way on into the coin flip here. It is going to be a heads call from Omni and a tails flip from the coin. So it's going to be up to YOYO to pick or choose a map. They're going to opt to pick a map here. So YOYO going to select their map for round one. Is there anything that you would expect here, Koneko?
For round one, I definitely expect something as such as Ever Sleeping Town, maybe Moonlit, maybe Lakeside. A map that is pretty good for hunters and decent-ish for survivors. Just they probably want to give a benefit to the hunter.
As yeah, we'll wait and see exactly what it is they are going to play. In their recent rounds in the quarters and semis, they've played Darkwoods, Moon River, Leos, obviously a few others as well. So we'll have to see exactly what the selection is going to be here. Obviously, two bans are going to come out from Omni, so we'll have to wait and see what they don't want to get sent to. But obviously, we'll have to wait for Omni to send in their starting roster as well. We have the starting roster from YOYO. They'll be playing Fafa, I Eat Food, Eve, Infamous, and Just Better for the first round. But we haven't actually gotten this Omni roster, and while obviously the survivors aren't the most likely to change, the difference here for their round one hunter is definitely going to be something. Killer Boss and Pit have both played some recent series. Obviously, Pit played in semis almost the whole time, so I'm definitely interested to see who their starting hunter is going to be, as they ban away Sacred and Chinatown before sending their roster in.
That's pretty reasonable to ban Sacred Heart Hospital in the round one, since you want the hunter to have some benefits. And Chinatown is a pretty hunter-sided map, and if you want survivors to have a slightly chance to not get 4K'd or get a better result, you probably want that map banned too.
And yeah, again, in the recent times for both of these teams, they've been able to get quite a lot of escapes in their competitive series here. For example, Omni versus Rankers, another very strong team, took my team out as well in the quarters, but they were able to get a 2 escape versus the Peddler there, a 3 escape versus a Hula there. So we're able to see these teams able to consistently escape against a lot of very good teams. YOYO as well in their series against Gaslighters, they were able to get a 3 escape to start the series off. So there's definitely going to be a lot of interesting people coming out as we get our roster in for the side of Omni. Lays, Fluff, PP Moon, Paul Blums to start, with Killer Boss as our round one hunter.
We're seeing what YOYO will pick as the selected map. I really think it's going to be such as Ever Sleeping. I don't really think it's going to stray off from that. Maybe Darkwoods for an interesting pick. Darkwoods not really unusual for these teams, so we might see Darkwoods.
And yeah, so again, YOYO here with map selection. In their past 2 series here in the playoffs, they were round 1 Darkwoods and round 1 Leos, and it's going to be the map we saw in their series against GSL. They're going to bring us to Leos here. What do you think about this pick here?
The Leos Memory is a pretty reasonable map for both Survivors and Hunter. I don't think it has any... I know some people don't really like playing this map, but if, for example, it's Upper Singer, for Upper Singer it's a pretty decent map, as long as you don't chase in Factory. And other meta hunters are pretty good in here too. I think Goatman is pretty good in this map as well. Globalid is not that too bad. So I think it's a pretty good map for round one.
And yeah, one thing that I do definitely think is interesting that we have to keep in mind is going to be this series, YOYO versus GSL. They went to this map in the first round of that series, and it ended up being a Goatman from GSL who got 3 escaped by the survivors of YOYO, and then the Disciple coming out for Fafa, getting a 4K. So definitely have to keep in mind that something like that Disciple might come out early today.
Disciple, yeah, it's Fafa's specialist pick. I know he plays Violet and in a very optimal way. He's really, really good with those hunters, so we might see a specialist pick in round 1, not as much as meta. We'll have to wait and see.
And yeah, as well, I know the other character they played in that series against GSL was the side of Geisha, so Fafa definitely willing to play out some of those pocket characters, and considering, again, we are in the grand finals, we are playing a best of 5, we will see at least 3 rounds of IDV pretty much, so I definitely think it's very likely that especially if we go longer, that we will guaranteed start to see more and more of these specialist characters. Obviously, again, I expect to see Goatmans, I expect to see Hulas, but especially if we make it later in, I really expect someone like Fafa, for example. A lot of these specialist characters, obviously a very highly ranked player, so I definitely think that if it doesn't get banned away, we'll see that Disciple, maybe we'll see that Geisha coming out, so obviously we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see exactly what these characters are, but especially if we don't see them start to come out early here in round 1, not exactly sure what the side of YOYO are looking at in their series against TFC in quarters. They played Goatman with their other hunter, then Wu Cheng with Fafa in that second round, so we'll have to wait and see if it is going to be the Fafa in here for round 1. Obviously, I believe that, yeah, that is who they sent in as their rostered hunter for round 1, so I'm certainly expecting it to be something like that Disciple, potentially, that did so well last week, but obviously, yeah, we'll have to wait to see.
Honestly, I expect either Opera Singer or Disciple. Have to be honest. I think it's either one of those two. His Opera Singer is pretty good, and Fafa is really good with Opera Singer, if I recall correctly. And they're sending the Omni Hunter first, so Fafa will be playing second. From the Omni Hunter, Killer Boss is known for playing Goatman, Opera Singer, such as Meta Hunters. He also plays Ivy. We know he has really good Meta Hunters, so he might just go with Meta.
And yeah, it definitely wouldn't surprise me either way here, obviously, for the side of Killer Boss. I really do think Killer Boss is most likely just to pick up, like you mentioned, something like that Goatman. It's been a very consistent pick. Omni versus VBG. They did play Ivy round 1, though, so it's definitely not a guaranteed, locked, confirmed Goatman. They actually got away with playing Goatman round 2 in that series, so maybe a little bit of odd information there, but I think it's definitely worth noting it's not guaranteed Goatman.
You would expect him to ban Goatman, of course.
Yeah.
Goatman is a strong character, and then you see him coming out. It's definitely a surprise.
And so yeah, we'll have to wait for the players to get into lobby here. We're getting everybody ready to go here. But what do you think about the decision here? Do you think it's good, bad, doesn't matter to send the Omni Hunter first specifically?
I think it's pretty decent. I don't think it really matters. Maybe for Omni's Hunter to be a little bit more chill about the results he has to get. As the third hunter playing, you don't really have any pressure yet on you. As the second hunter playing, you usually have more pressure because you have to match up the results of the previous hunter. So maybe they just want to give him some advantage in that sense.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We're getting most of our players in the lobby here, still waiting on, I believe, Killer Boss to join up. So we'll give just a moment, of course, make sure that our referees can get all of our players invited here. But it's definitely going to be a fun one here. Again, BO5, so while the first round, of course, always still matters toward the result of the series, not necessarily all determining, right? You have to play at least 3 rounds, or I suppose, yeah, you have to play at least 3 full rounds. So we're definitely guaranteed to see a couple of opportunities for teams to make and punish their opponents' mistakes, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly which path the series is going to take. I definitely expect it to be a close one. A lot of pressure here going to be on the Hunters to secure those kills, as again, both of these Survivor teams have proven that they can find really good escapes against really top-class Hunters, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how this is going to go as we get things ready to go here for our first series. Still waiting just a minute to get some of our players in.
Another thing they have to keep in check as survivors in specific is the global bans. Since they will have a lot of global bans in this BO5, they have to make sure they don't run out of good picks to play in each round. Since the stronger characters tend to be picked first, so they can guarantee good results.
And yeah, I definitely think that that's something that these teams have, not necessarily these teams, but a lot of top tier teams really do start to struggle with into the end of series, is they burn away a lot of their rescuers, and then they get really, really tough trying to build team comps essentially around Mercenary and Wildling. So definitely have to be a little bit careful about what characters you pick when, or you will get into that trap of being in round 4, being in round 5, looking at overtime, because again, after the first 3 rounds, your global bans will not change at all. So once you get into those later rounds, you would love to have any type of character to help you rescue. You want to make sure you have at least a character that you're happy with in every slot. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, a lot of emphasis going to be on these character selection, these pick bans in the early portions of the series.
having strong rescue is very, very important to not have a terror shock, which a terror shock can be very, very game changing, or stuff or something like that. Like games can be lost just by a single terror shock or a single stuff. So definitely you want to keep those rescuers out of the global bans, which is really hard in a BO5.
As yeah, we'll have to wait and see here. Again, both of these teams have had pretty decent routes to get here. Again, both teams taking their series in 2 rounds in both the quarters and the semifinals. I believe, with the exception of Omni versus Rankers going to the first half of the 3rd round, where Pitt was able to grab a wheel 4K. So definitely a lot of emphasis here. Again, as I mentioned, on these hunters to make sure that they can keep securing these kills. But again, the survivors obviously definitely going to have a lot of emphasis as well. Need to be ready to get in and get going here once we move on into these series. We have Pitt in the lobby here, trying to make sure we can get everybody invited here. Apologies again for the delay.
We're still waiting for Killer Boss. I imagine Pitt is talking things through and trying to invite the hunter around 1. So we just have to wait and see. Again, what do you think the survivors will pick? Now we talk about already the hunters. What do you think the survivors will pick in this first round?
So yeah, I went through the quarterfinal and the semifinal matches. So I have every character they've played so far in the knockout stage of the tournament. And since we are looking at the side of Omni Hunter first, we'll take a peek at my notes on the YOYO survivors here. In the first round especially, they are very partial to First Officer, Archer, and Puppeteer as some characters they target on. They've had Seer banned away from them. They've had Mage banned away again as well, a little bit against them. But some of the characters there, obviously, that they really have been picking a lot against GSL and TFC. Their first 2 picks were First Officer and Archer, so I definitely expect them to make appearances if they aren't banned away. Again, something like that Seer, a very strong character that has been banned by both of these teams in the first slot almost every single round, with the exclusive exception of the 3rd round for Omni versus Rankers. Every single game has had Seer banned first, so it's definitely an expected ban there. But
yeah, it's expected. Since Seer is such a strong character, such a strong fighter, such a strong supporter too. Just having a body blocks being sent across him all the way on the other side of the map is so strong. It prolongs the kite for way too long. That's the reason why they keep banning him. It's such a strong item. That's all. Yeah. So I think everyone else is in the lobby. I think Killer Boss is already in. Yes, everyone is in. So we should be starting soon with the bans and picks.
And yeah, so we are rolling our way in here, and we'll have to wait and see, obviously, exactly what our picks and our bans are going to be. History shows for the side of Killer Boss, very likely to ban Seer, and then either Antiquarian or Enchantress, depending on how they're feeling. And yeah, there's going to be that Enchantress.
Enchantress is a pretty good Goatman kiter, so I expect it to be Goatman. Already from Enchantress ban, I already expect to be Goatman.
As, yeah, First Officer, Magician coming in here. Again, 2 of these characters that YOYO have a lot of emphasis on picking early. Now for the bans, definitely expecting something like either that Antiquarian, potentially the Archer, the Embalmer, maybe another support character. We'll wait and see exactly what it is going to be here from the side of Killer Boss. I'd personally expect the Antiquarian or Archer, but there's another strong one that we've seen time to time. Aeroplanist comes out.
It's a pretty strong sub-rescuer. They usually bring the second turn on him, so I don't really disagree with this ban. He's a pretty good Goatman kiter as well. There's a lot of tricks you can do, so it's a very strong for as well as Survivor. So banning him is completely normal. And they have a Puppeteer as their as their 3rd pick. Puppeteer is a pretty strong kiter too. I also see him with Turner very often because he has such good kiting skills. And he got the recent buff too. I don't know if you saw. He got the recent buff as well, so he's even getting it a little bit stronger. So it's definitely a very good one-round survivor.
As yeah, we're gonna get things going here with Meteorologist as our last ban. We'll see what the last survivor pick is going to be. Aeroplanist and Puppeteer have been some of their previous last round picks, but we are gonna get the Perfumer coming in here. Again, another tanky character, able to stay alive, use those perfumes in the tough situations, especially against the Goatman. So not necessarily the most surprising pick of all time, but interesting to see it come out 4th, so we may see it again.
Yes. It's pretty unusual. I haven't seen a Perfumer that often in round 1. I saw her like last season, but not really this season, unfortunately. She's getting a buff in the soon future. I don't know if you have seen the buff for the Perfumer too. She might be seeing some more use from these teams as well in the future. I'm pretty sure she will go back to meta.
Yeah, it's one of the buffs of all time. That's all I can say. I don't really. You know what? I believe in you, Netties. Netties are welcome to do whatever they'd like with their buffing and balancing in their game. So we'll see if the buff ends up truly saving the character or ruining the game. But obviously, for now, not the biggest problem we fortunately have to worry about. I think Killer Boss, if anything, is going to be the one happy about that buff not quite being through yet. So we'll wait and
Exactly.
see here. Yeah, we're getting our talent set up here. But final answer: is it just Goatman, or you think we might see something else?
These bands I really think is Goatman. It might be Ivy, might be a secret Ivy because Ivy does pretty decently against his team. Ivy does not do so bad, so it might be Ivy as well.
So yeah, we'll wait and see here. Peddler coming out here. Not something we've
Sure.
seen Killer Boss play in the knockouts. Not something we've actually seen played by either of these teams in the knockouts, but it's another very strong character, especially considering the map that we are on. So we'll have to wait and see if it does work well for them. As again, here on Leo's, I don't necessarily hate
Leos.
keeping that goat
Yeah.
on the threatening spot.
It's pretty interesting because I have not really seen Peddler having that much play in Leo's memory in specific. But I assume it's decent for her. Not really in Factory. Chasing Factory might be kind of tricky. But in other areas, she might be able to cut off some loops. There's a very good looping area in a certain area of this map. So I think she's probably decent. We'll have to wait and see.
As yeah, we are going to get things set up once again here on this one as we get things ready to go here in our first half of our first round here in the grand finals of the Identity V Premier Tournament. Again, Omni going to be hunting first up against the YOYO Survivors, and we are getting things ready to roll here as we get our areas selected. Borrowed time on everyone, Tide Turner on the first officer and the Puppeteer, a Flywheel on the Magician and Perfumer, with Killer Boss spawning on the left side here.
They definitely were waiting for a Goatman because of these firewalls. Definitely they were expecting a Goatman, I have to say. I'm pretty sure they can make a very good usage of the files against Peddler. She doesn't really require any special final trait for her to guiding her. So I expect the survivors to do pretty decently. So what do you think about the spawns? What do you think she's gonna chase? The
I
human
think
range
it's tough
stack?
here. You don't really want to chase any of these characters. They can all be a little bit
That is
challenging.
true.
So I think in theory your best chases are maybe the first officer if you want to bet on trying to take out a Tide Turner early. Obviously you could go for the Puppeteer for the same reason. So I definitely think that Puppeteer is a likely target for the first chase, but as you mentioned, Factory is going to be a very big challenge
Yeah,
for this side of
it
this
is.
peddler. Obviously if you can go through walls, you can cut some of those loops down, but especially if you mess up, you obviously can get Lewis, that wall goes away. You can be in a very, very rough position here on this peddler. So I'm curious to see which way they'll go. I don't think they'll go for the magician. I don't really think they'll go for the perfumer. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep. My opinion it might be the perfumer, but let's see. I think it's gonna be the perfumer, but maybe she'll go for the puppeteer in factory and take the risk. As we go on to round one, first half. Look to both teams.
Yeah, we'll see which way Killer Boss wants to go here. It does look like they're moving over toward the perfumer here, toward the shack. We'll wait
Exactly.
and see if it's a full commit here, as it definitely looks to be the idea for Killer Boss. Eve slowly moving around the backside of this building here. We'll see if Killer Boss can spot them. They will indeed, so it's a nice location here by the Hunter to start the series off. Has a Vine available, has two grabs still with the ability here as the first
Nice
perfume
perfume
comes
to
out, but
dodge
we missed the Vine.
the
Eva's in a
vine.
really tough spot here as Peepers come down as have to take that perfume back to get away.
Very good routing already. Cutting off this loop area by putting up a wall and getting a chip through. Nice perfume usage and dodging this chip as well, and using another peeper to try and make the survivor a little bit slower in this area. Mind gaming this pallet. The perfumer does not want to drop it, making a good
Oh,
job waiting for the drop. And another perfume. Perfume is pretty good against Peddler because you can perfume earlier when she plays Vine. And yeah, she can also do this on the floor. She can also make the perfume get a little bit stuck and after the perfume, use it and just wait it out and get the hit through. She does have flywheel, so let's see if she can kite for a little bit longer and extend this kite, even though she has no items. Flywheeling the Vine exactly, and unfortunately going down.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to turn that flywheel into a productive direction, has to send himself
Yeah.
into a little bit of a dead zone there. But I think using that third perfume there, it's very dangerous, especially since it didn't get value. Perfumer now has nothing for this rebound. Flywheel is gone. Well, obviously the borrowed time isn't going to help too much, and yeah, we're out of items. So I definitely think this is a tough position here for the side of Eve, but we'll see the rescue come in here. Watch out for the side of I Eat Food. Not going to get hit quite yet. Killer Boss getting baited out here left and right. As get the plant onto the chair here.
Getting stuck now with the floor thing from the vines. Trying not to get a tear shock. Let's see. Okay, nice rescue, nice rescue. Being very patient with it, not getting a tear shock. The Pele is trying to get it double down, and probably is gonna get it. Yes, getting the double down. Let's see if she didn't lose sight of the perfumer. Doesn't really have. Let's see if she has nostalgic. I think she does.
Yeah. Nice able to get the double down there. First officer will have to pick himself up or get some support from a teammate. And as you mentioned, obviously, Perfumer not being lost in transit, which would have been the true disaster of this. So Killer Boss going to get straight back on over again. This is a nothing Perfumer. There is nothing here to help them. As we'll see here, Eve walks straight into the plant.
Unfortunately, there's not really she could do. Fly was not up yet, no perfumes. I mean, she had to use the perfumes while she was at full health, which is usually what you do as perfumer. You don't really save up your items because as a rebound they're pretty much useless. They only use for mind games. So of course she will be out of items eventually. And now they're sending out the puppeteer. Luckily the Wentador is on the magician who has no full tide turner. The tide turner is on the puppeteer. He's getting slightly cut off by the peddler. She sees him. Let's see if he can get this rescue through. I don't think it's gonna be an easy rescue. He might not do it. They might be trying to backdoor with the magician. Yeah, I think they're trying to double rescue, so it's easier. Maybe so. Never mind, they're just giving up on the rescue. They're completely giving up on the perfumer. Unfortunately, the puppeteer got cut off. Very nice chip through the wand, actually seeing where the magician was at. He didn't really mind game it as much, but trying to get this double hit with chip in a regular hit, but unfortunately not getting the down. They are already on the last cipher. I didn't even realize the ciphers were already done. They were done. This cipher versus Peller really, really well. The gun was not so bad. The rescue was really good too. Even though the double down was there, the perfumer still kind of long enough after Tide Turner, so it was worth it. Trying to pressure the first officer now. He's gonna be running around. He still has a watch for the kites. So let's see if he can make sure he can get some good containment through, so he can prime the other cipher, since they had to leave the other cipher as well because he was getting pressured by a peddler. And as we know, she has ability to block ciphers really well, so you really have to open a new cipher.
So, yeah, we do see it is just going to be a bot heal coming out. Magician got a controller out of a box, so he's going to be able to heal up onto this side of the mages. And will be first officer burning another watch here. Again, they need to stall for as long as they can. Vine's coming out here trying to find the first officer. Not going to get it, but I Eat Food is able to get back to this pallet setup here behind the peddler. And with Cypher at 70, we need a really quick down here from Killer Boss for this to be stable. First officer dodges the Vine. 85% here. The Prime can come out very soon. IEF just needs to run for this Prime to be ready, and yeah, they're gonna have it here. So there's not too much the Hunter can do here. Gets hit here, will get picked up, has the wall to go through, but it's a really tough situation right now. Vines come out. It should be a tie situation. We do have trump card teleport though, so it's not guaranteed by any means here.
Killer Boss. The weight is going pretty slowly. And
Terror shock here. They need to get to the other door, though. The other door is 80. Trump teleport. Here we go now. It's going to be onto the bot. Yeah, bot. You feel like you have to hit it. So
unfortunately, I don't think Killer Boss realized the bot was there because he didn't really swing at the bot immediately. So he didn't get the notification by just Better, who's getting who had the bot on him. He also has Crows, which is really interesting. I guess he was healing, not really decoding. He popped the last cipher. Nice one usage to juke this Vine. The Palace has to make a good effort to try and get it down. This should be a tie, all things considered, because the gate is open. And first up can just get for the other gate or run for this one. He's already open, which I think he's running for there. Let me see. Yeah, he's running for this gate, which is already open. Not really open the other one. This should be a tie, all things considered. I don't think he can get done because he's not in the area, so yeah. Then he's all the way out and behind Chuck, so it's unfortunately not really doable.
And yeah, the first
No, it's
officer is
definitely
just too
good.
far away at the door. First officer's just too far away at the door. It's at 80 already, so it will be a tie here. Puppeteer and I Eat Food will have no problem getting out at opposite gates here. Puppeteer is out. First officer is out as well. So round one, half one is going to be a tie here. Well done by the YOYO survivors here, able to force the tie against Omni.
I have to say, Peddler is a very, very good tie hunter, so and this is not really an optimal map for her, so it's a very expected result. And the Solaris did really, really well against the Peddler. The Hunter also did his best with what he had, the resources he had. So I think it's very stable from both sides. Not really anything that went wrong for the Hunter or for the survivors. Everything just went perfectly well. So it was a tie. It was a very stable tie. You have anything to say, like extra, about the matchup?
I definitely think I'm not really that surprised, honestly. I mean, again,
Yeah.
both of these teams, their survivors have been able to find really good escapes against top-level teams. And again, now that they're against the, in theory, second best or best team in this event here, as one of them will finish first, one of them will finish second, I'm not surprised to see that survivors are still able to find escapes. As again, against TFC and GSL, YOYO were able to get 4 escapes in 2 rounds. So they're able to get 50% of their players out in general, and obviously 2 escapes, 2 kills. There's a dead even accuracy mark there to what we saw in that round. Again, YOYO able to stay true to their consistency. They've been able to force escapes in good situations the entire tournament so far, so I'm not surprised to see that the YOYO survivors are able to do it. But I would say that Omni, they're in the exact same spot. Their survivors have been able to get out against tough competition, against rankers, some very fantastic players there. They were able to get 5 escapes in only 2 rounds, so they're able to force escapes as well against tough opponents here. But I definitely think it'll be interesting to see, as they have not been up against Fafa here, so I'm curious to see if we will get something a little bit more off-meta like that Disciple round 1, or if they are going to try and save it maybe for a bit later and go with something more generic.
Oh. Oh, unfortunately, it cut off. It cut off. But yeah, starting off with a tie is definitely what I'm expecting from this matchup.
And so, yeah, we'll wait and see what this is going to be here. Obviously, moving to the other side is going to be YOYO's Hunter Fafa up against the Omni Survivor team here. Again, is going to be Fluff, PP Moon, Palblems, and the side of Lays coming out for round 1 here on Leo's. So I'm curious to see which way they're going to go with their character selection. Again, the Omni Survivors, a lot of emphasis on Enchantress. Enchantress is a character that Omni places a very, very high amount of priority on. They have ban it almost every round. They pick it early in round 1 against both BVG and the rankers, so we'll see if Enchantress comes out again. But some other characters definitely to keep an eye out for: Magician, Archer, First Officer, Gravekeeper, Aeroplanist, and Antiquarian are some characters that Omni have piloted quite a lot here in the knockouts.
Yep, all strong survivors for round 1. Very, very stable. I know Omni likes bringing unusual builds, such as Tide 5 with Enchantress before, and such. I have seen like a lot of interesting builds from them, which they have like a very good strategy behind it. I'm not gonna lie, they usually can get through with it. So I'm expecting something interesting from them as well, again.
So yeah, we have most of our players in the lobby here, still waiting for, looks like one of our survivors. Looks like we might need to get Lays in the lobby still, so we'll make sure we can do that and get things ready to go here. But I'm definitely going to be interested to see here what the ideas are going to be, as again, some of the best players in our region coming up in this game here, all very highly ranked players. So we'll have to wait and see what this idea is going to be, especially for the side of Fafa here. Obviously the Hunters a little bit more agency in terms of their character surprising ability than the opponents. Is again, Fafa, a lot of emphasis on these odd characters, right? Obviously, again, I mentioned played Disciple, played Geisha in their semi-final. Obviously a very competent Soul Weaver player as well, I know. So we'll see if we get one of those weird characters here in round 1 or later today, or if they are just going to opt for something standard like the Goat Man, the Hula, the Ivy, the Peddler. So we'll have to wait and see as we get the rest of our team in the lobby.
He does have them all, meta, non-meta. I know Papa's Hunter pool is pretty big. He's one of the hunters with the biggest Hunter pool overall. So I'm expecting anything from him. I'm expecting anything in round 1. I don't really have any set Hunter in my mind. And of course, starting with the picks and bans. Already Seer getting banned, of course. It's always a Seer in the first ban. Like, it's a priority for every Hunter just banning Seer out. And banning First Officer too. putting that one strong rescuer out of the way. And as a response, the survivors have picked Gravekeeper, which is the other strong rescuer for round 1, and Archer, as you were mentioning, Archer.
And yeah, Archer is another one of these characters that the teams have a lot of emphasis on. I'm curious if Omni will go into this Enchantress well. It's something that they've gone to quite frequently, but I definitely wouldn't expect it at this point. Gravekeeper, Archer, Novelist coming out here, as we'll see what the last ban is going to be. I don't even know what to expect for the ban here, as I have no idea what Omni would want with this comp.
Oh, Acrobat. That's interesting.
Acrobat.
That's interesting. Actually, you don't really see Acrobat getting banned because he's a really strong hider, but he's not really bannable. Like, Ben, I don't know how to explain. You don't really ban him. He's just a strong character, but you don't really ban him that much because there are more annoying survivors to face. But it might be some sort of hunter struggles against an Acrobat. Let's wait and see. And for the last pick, they're picking Embalmer. That's very interesting. They want a tie? He's a tie character. They usually just pick him for ties. So maybe they're making a strategy to get the tied up round 1 and getting more points in the further rounds.
And yeah, I mean, the Survivor team here, they were ready with their picks. Those were almost all immediate. The Embalmer maybe took a couple of seconds, Novelist as well, but those were very, very quick picks here. A lot of the time, some of the teams, which of course, fully acceptable, not blaming the other teams by any means with taking a bit of time to think about their picks, but Omni, very prepared here. They knew exactly what they wanted, and whether they got the exact comp they were looking for or had to make some changes toward the end there, it is very interesting to see here. As again, Gravekeeper, Archer, Novelist, Embalmer here. Obviously, they're focusing on selecting up their talents and their builds right now, but what do you think? Fafa, he can basically play any character in the game except for Qist as it's disabled, so what character, if you could play anything, would you want to play into this comp?
I don't know if N is a choice because there's a Gravekeeper and an Embalmer. N doesn't really do well against the two characters because she doesn't really have a camp scene for Embalmer, and Gravekeeper is way too strong to rescue against N. So I honestly think it might be a Goatman or an opera singer, something like that. It's opera singer, exactly. It's opera singer. It was the second hunter I mentioned. He's an opera singer.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big surprise. Obviously, again, Fafa is able to and will play basically any character that is either good or they are a specialist at, and obviously Opera Singer, a very strong character right now, going to be decent into the comp here. Obviously, some things that'll be slightly annoying. The Novelist is always going to be annoying to deal with, but it's not the biggest problem in the world, and Fafa, no problem bringing the Opera Singer into it, can close those distances very, very quickly here. So we'll see the Survivor spawn ID. It looks like it'll be the same spawn formation, which I expect that we'll see a lot of the same spawn formations throughout the maps today.
Yeah, it's a very interesting spawn though, because the rescue is not in the middle, it's a Novelist instead, who also has Tide Turner. For the builds, we have Bird Time on everyone unless the Archer who has Full Kite, she has Sui, and Malwa has Knee Jerk, and Novelist and Gravekeeper have Tide Turner. They're the Tide Turners in this team. It's very interesting to see the Novelist in the middle instead of the Gravekeeper, but I guess Gravekeeper wants to be protected a little, since he's not really good against Opera Singer. He's not the best rescue against Opera Singer. We didn't really see his play during the Opera Singer meta. He was usually this mercenary and first officer, so he definitely wants to have some protection not to get the kites.
As you'll see Fafa go into this top right here as opposed to the bottom, the left middle that we saw in half 1. So we'll see if this is going to be presumably an Archer or a Gravekeeper chase, depending on the Tide Turner reads here from Fafa. So definitely, I'll say a little bit unfortunate you can't chase the Embalmer, but obviously Opera Singer not in a rush to chase Factory by any means. So we'll see if Fafa in the top right here. Where would you go here? I think any of them are valid targets.
I honestly think from the spawn, it might be the Gravekeeper. It might be the Gravekeeper in Shack. Might be able to get rid of one of the Tide Turners. Usually you need 2 Tide Turners to beat up the Opera Singer, since you can get double downs really easily without Tide Turner. Or just farming Survivors really pretty fast, since you're a really fast-paced hunter. So she might go for the Gravekeeper. And Archery is a pretty tough chase for Opera Singer, since you can stun and maybe cancel the dashes with a Laceration. It's a pretty tough chase. And also she has Full Kite. It's not as if Fafa knows that she has Full Kite, but it's gonna be a pretty tough chase. Let's see what the Fafa will do. And he does seem to be walking towards dashing towards the Gravekeeper. It's a pretty easy read from this spawn.
Yeah. It is just going to be a very early pallet drop here. There's not too much reason to hold on to it for too long. Early shovel as well, which, again, no reason to hold on to it for too long. If you're not going to be rescuing, you may as well get a little bit of value out of your items. So we'll see here. Problems just going to continue this kite out. Shovel available again in 6. We'll see if they want to hyper commit to the item usage here. As Fafa trying to stay up while breaking these pallets.
Didn't really drop the pallet previously, which I don't really agree with. He might have just had to drop the pallet and then get himself in trouble. He probably didn't think he would do it on time, I'm not sure. And now he just has no items to kite with.
Yeah, definitely a little bit dangerous here, but the Gravekeeper feels like there's nothing he can do to stop himself from taking some early hits here, as I think a big problem here is going to be so much presence built up, which, again, it is just Opera Singer, so full presence isn't the scariest in the world, but Blink comes out here for the down.
It's a pretty standard kite. 4 hits to get this down because the Gravekeeper, but still Opera Singer can afford that. He doesn't really get the speed boost from the shovel hit, so she can just afford that and catch up really immediately after the shovel hit.
And yeah, I think that's a thing worth noting. Despite it obviously being a 4-hit chase, it wasn't a long kite by any means. Exactly. So they obviously get the ciphers up to maybe 80-90% average. As we'll see the rescue coming out here. Falfa actually doesn't have a shadow to teleport back to, so it's going to be a nice rescue here. Problems will be able to survive for a little bit, and they actually were able to save with Embalmer, so they don't lose a tide turner off of this. Archer coming in. Can we hit the shot here? Nice shot by PP Moon. Able to get the connection here. It's going to be the crossbow on the side here. As gets this done.
Unfortunately, 96. Unfortunately, she's at 96. The only thing I have to say, the Embalmer went to the rescue, and the Embalmer has coffined the Gravekeeper. It was a very good choice to have the Embalmer rescue, so you can see the image of the Gravekeeper, and now they have coffin available. You have to mention that Fafa has confined space. He doesn't really have a trade swap. Has confined space in this map. Oh, unfortunate down of Archer. He might swap the Archer.
Yeah, Fafa's definitely going to at least throw the Archer on chair here. I'm curious to see what the idea will be afterwards. Obviously, you don't necessarily want to let Grave get away for free. You want to burn that coffin at least. As we'll see if Problems can pick themselves up here. Doesn't even actually look like they're going to try here at around 80-90%. So, yeah, it is just going to be the chair.
The self-heal was available already. I saw the hipping that he had 80% on the self-heal when Archer was getting chair, so he could definitely have picked himself up. He didn't want to get slogged. Probably.
Yeah, we'll see the back rescue here onto the Archer, comes out before the half. It will be a tide turner, so Archer has a little bit of extra time to try and force stalk here. As the coffin, of course, going to be used. Gravekeeper does die on the next chair, but obviously now he gets a little bit more time to go help his team with decoding. Is tag from the Archer, but we don't have another crossbow, so it is just going to be the down here.
A very standard down of a tide turner. Unfortunately, he didn't really kite it out. I do think it's walking a tide pace. This walking the type pace. They do have 2 survivors available for rescuing right now. Probably gonna send Novelist again. It has the strongest ability to rescue. Although they are just healing, they don't seem to want to rescue the Archer. She still has an item, which is very, very unusual. She does have an item. Are they really just want to sell?
Yeah, it's definitely looking like they're considering allowing the Archer to just die here on chair. Fluff and Paul in this back corner, of course, the final player over towards Shaq right now. So it does look like it will just be Archer dead here on the second chair. Gravekeeper dies on the next chair as well. Nice stun, though, by Fluff here. Not even going to get hit through it.
Power pellet stun, too. As most novels do, great power, so it's a very max usage of the pellet stun. Nice juke, not getting the hit through, and trying to maximize the book. And of course, Fafa is going to look away as the attack recovery comes through, so he cannot really get the metaphor as fast.
Yeah, just going to be another blink here. It's no trump card, so not surprising.
Yep, the blink just comes through. He really just has confined space. He doesn't really have trade swap, and now he prefers to do some cipher pressure, go back to Gravekeeper, has the perfume now. He managed to open the chest while the Archer was getting tiered and dying in the tier.
A little bit of perfume Gravekeeper action here as we get a pallet drop here. Grave will get chased and die here, I would assume, as the self-heal comes out from Novelist. As no, Fafa a little bit more concerned with the 5th cipher. Definitely a rational take to the situation as we'll rotate back on over here. Lay's trying to work on it. They get it up to 60, but it's not really poppable by any means right now. So we'll see Fluff get spotted out on the side here, and Fafa really considering swapping the target over to go slug that Novelist, but is just going to focus on this Embalmer here, make sure we get at least the first hit.
I have to mention that Novelist has no self-heal, so that might be pretty dangerous in the future. If he does realize that the novice does not have self-heal, he can use it to his advantage in the later game. It has no trade swap. And of course, a pretty easy down, a pretty fast on Embalmer. Unfortunately, has no items to kite with, and against an full presence upper singer is really hard, really hard to keep a good containment.
As yeah, we'll be the chair here back on to the Embalmers. Again, Gravekeeper working on these boxes here. Does have an elbow pad to work with here. Just playing a little bit of rainbow characters here, swapping around as it originally looked like a tie pace, but I don't see how they do another Cypher in this game state.
I'm very confused why they haven't tried to open new Cypher and just prioritizing opening chests, but they trying to get this syringe with the Gravekeeper and getting this rescue through with the Tightroller. They really do have to get this rescue named Embalmer, otherwise they're not going to get as much coffin as they could. So Embalmer does get like a coffin every single time he gets rescued. You would think they want to rescue him before health, but not really prioritizing that. They're just trying to rubber band this upper singer by having someone pop the Cypher and someone having rescue. The metaphor is ready though, so he can try and prolong this kite a little. Although it's an upper singer with full presence, so I don't think he will survive until his pellets. He has Tight Turner too, he doesn't really have Flywheel. I don't think the Embalmer can try and coffin the novice in this period of time. He does not have self-heal, so of course he's getting slugged. Okay, yeah, of course the no self-heal is not coming through. You don't really want to not have your self-heal. You probably want to have someone pick you up. And the blink is already available. So much time has passed and the blink is already available.
Used it borderline on cooldown there, obviously a little bit of buffer time, but with the chair here onto the Gravekeeper, that'll take Problems out of the match. Now Novelist is getting slugged. We are going to see the Cypher get worked on here. It is full borrowed time, so potentially able to get the pop here, which would get Novelist on their feet. 97, they should get the pop, maybe. Yeah, they are going to get Novelist on their feet here. The tension comes out, but I'm not really sure what Fluff can do with it. He's obviously been blessed with a little bit more life, but Opera's already on their trails. I don't see a way that Fafa doesn't pick up the 4K here.
He doesn't really have he doesn't have anything to fight with. The metaphor has already used. The metaphor is already charging. It's charging. It's like halfway charged.
Nope.
So he might, no, unfortunately, he cannot charge it up. Unfortunately, he cannot charge it up.
Embalmer will pick themselves up, but it's the same problem. Yeah, it's the same problem. There's just nothing Embalmer can do with the time. Novelist is... the bleed out is too long. If he could get picked up and downed one more time, he would die. But I just don't see what world there is that this Embalmer kites and makes it to dungeon. There we go. That'll be it. I'd expect the forfeit. Yeah, it will be it. And it's a nice 4K here to start the series for YOYO.
Very well done by Fafa. Very good Cypher pressure. I am not sure if selling the Archer was the best decision. I do think they had to rescue the Archer to guarantee a better result. But it was definitely a decision they didn't spot, and they really didn't pay attention to the ciphers, how the cypher progress was, if they could buy some more time by doing the rescue. But yeah, overall, very well done by Fafa. Unfortunately for the survivors, I do think they could have tried maybe to just rescue the Archer since the Gravekeeper was already away. Maybe they could have done something. But overall, very well done from both teams. They fought really hard against this Hunter. Upper Sing is really fast. She could cross the map very fast. And didn't even need the trade swap. Just used Blink 3 times. Got the downs really fast as well. Didn't even feel like she needed the trade swap.
I mean, yeah, obviously was able to pick up the 4K without it, so definitely maybe a little bit risky to not have that opportunity to blink or teleport later into the game, or the warp or teleport later in the game, but obviously it ends up not mattering, picks up the 4K, so congratulations, of course, to YOYO. A fantastic start to the series. 7-2 lead at the moment after round number 1, so we'll obviously have to wait a little bit longer before we get things running back up again for the second side here. No subs are going to come out from the side of YOYO. Omni, still a little bit of discussion here. I wouldn't expect a sub. You don't really want to send your Hunter out after round 1 in a BO5, but obviously if that's the decision they go for, we'll have to wait and see what the call is going to be for them. Obviously have some other players available as well. I believe Juan on the survivor bench in case they decide that that's needed, so we'll wait and see here if there is going to be a call for a sub from Omni, but I certainly wouldn't expect it after round 1.
Yeah, I don't think there will be any subs done after round 1 in round 2, specifically since it's a BO5. I don't think they will do any subs right now. They might do later. But I have to mention that they are 7-2. So Omni is a pretty good loss right now. They're pretty behind. They have to catch up in this round 2.
As, yeah, Omni gonna call for no subs, so it will be no subs for anyone. We'll get the same 10 players rolling in for round number 2 here. As we'll move on our way on to picks and bans here. Obviously, Leo's memory will be taken off the table for the day. Then it will be up to YOYO here to ban a map. We'll wait and see here. Obviously, Omni here mainly been playing a lot of the meta hunters throughout this tournament so far, so I definitely don't think that there's any super interesting bans that we could get here. Obviously, if you want to ban Ever Sleeping or Darkwoods or Red Church or one of the maps that they play a lot, definitely understandable, but I don't think that there's anything weird to expect here with the maps.
The only thing that you can expect is just if they want a smaller map, or if they want a bigger map. They might just ban a smaller map because they want a bigger map, or they just, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely not really unusual. I don't think it's going to be anything special because there isn't really a map that you don't want to play in. Oh yeah, they're just playing Ever Sleeping. They don't want to deal with the tram. That's the only thing they don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with the tram.
That must be why they're banning Ever Sleeping. The tram is fearing them too much.
Just the tram. They just don't want to see the tram at all. They don't want to. So let's see what Omni will pick. Whether if they will go for a bigger or a smaller map.
As, you know, we'll get ready to see it here. This is going to be the Moonlit selection from the side of Omni. It's definitely a bit interesting. This is not what I would have expected.
Actually, if they want to try and get some advantage for the Hunter, I would try and get some advantage for the Survivors, though, because they seem to struggle in the previous round. Maybe you want to give some more advantage for the Survivors, and Moonlit is not the map you would pick for the Survivors. It will be a map you pick for the Hunter. So it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting decision for Omni.
So yeah, we'll see what the call is going to be here. It is going to be YOYO choosing to send their Hunter first, so they're going to try and ride the success of the Fafa 4K there, able to get a pretty good game on the Hunter side. They're going to send it again, so we'll have to see which direction we are going to go with things again here. Is obviously we have the Opera Singer global band away from the side of Fafa. We'll get one more ban, whether it ends up being meta or one of those targeted specialist characters. We'll have to wait and see, but again, you mentioned it earlier, one of the larger character pools out of the players that are left in the tournament, obviously probably the largest, so I think it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge to ban Fafa's characters throughout the day.
For sure. Has way too many Hunters to be all banned. For BO5, he has way too many characters. I think he's not going to run out at all. So as global bans, we have Gravekeeper, Novelist, and Archer for the Survivors, from the Survivors, and we have Opera Singer for Fafa, who is global banned. We will not see Opera Singer anymore from him.
As, yeah, we'll wait and see as again, after that third round, our global bans will not change anymore, so players are definitely being a little bit mindful with what characters they might want to continue repeating post round 3, so we'll have to wait and see if that is going to be a thought, especially now that there is a lead for YOYO. They can potentially try and just keep a couple of points going, sacrifice the round to play some weaker characters and hold on to some for later, but that's obviously up to them how much they want to game theory this series out to its longest strengths, or if they just want to send their full strongest characters every round, try and take the series in 3 to 4 rounds here. Obviously a very nice lead right now. 7-2 is a fantastic spot to be against such an elite team like Omni, which again obviously would say the same if it was the other way around, but YOYO are the ones with the lead right now. As we'll get everybody in the lobby and we'll get ready to go here on the Moon River Park.
It's round 2, first half. Omni Survivors versus the YOYO Hunter. Do you think the Survivors will pick first officer right away, since Fafa did seem to want to ban the first officer first? Do you think they will just go for the first officer first, or they will go for some other rescuer, such a mercenary?
I think there's definitely the either school of thought is very realistic. First Officer hasn't been a character that Omni hyper prioritize.
Yes.
Like I mentioned, they've been playing a lot of Enchantress. They've early picked Magician, Archer, Antiquarian, Fire Investigator. So I definitely think that I'm not expecting the full pressure on the First Officer. I think if it's unbanned, that it's very realistic that they pick it. If we do get something like the Seer First Officer banned again, but for example, example, Omni in both their series against BBG and against Rankers in round 2, they selected Fire Investigator and Antiquarian as their first 2 characters. So whether they'll keep up with that tempo or if they want to try and save some of them or use some other characters right now, obviously is up to them. But I definitely think that these bans will have heavy impact. We expect Seer, almost guarantee Seer, but that second ban from the side of Fafa will definitely have a lot of emphasis on which way we go. Is Seer gonna get marked away here on the hover? We'll see what the second character is gonna be. Prospector.
Oh, Martin, Prospector. Very interesting ban. Prospector is an end counter actually. It's a very good end counter. So it might be the end. It might actually just be the end.
Yeah, I think we know what we're expecting now for the rest of the character selection here.
Yes. We're expecting something such as Antiquarian right now. Embalmer again. Very interesting.
Yeah, there's the Fire Investigator.
The Fire Investigator, yes. As you had mentioned, the Fire Investigator and the Embalmer. And Papa is spending acrobats again. I think Papa does not like acrobats. Or something like has been acrobats both rounds.
Yeah, it's an interesting emphasis point here. I definitely agree with you. I wouldn't have expected Acrobat to be heavily banned, obviously, as just kind of a character that comes out when there's nothing else to pick. But it's going to be something Fafa's especially worried about here from Omni's Mercenary comes out here.
They want the Mercenary to rescue in the second round. Very interesting, actually. Mercenary is not the best character against Hulabalu, so if Fafa wants to go Hulabalu, he can definitely do so. These characters are not the best against the Hulabalu, so he can maybe get some advantage on them.
As, yeah, Coordinator going to come out here as our last character for the Survivor team. So very heavy on the rescue ability here. Merc, Cord, Finn, obviously all can rescue, and Bomber Coffins as well. So definitely interesting to see here, especially considering Fafa might be playing a certain cat lady.
Yes, I think they were preparing for that just because of the Embalmer and the Coordinator, since Coordinator can do pretty decently against N and Embalmer too. Remy Singer is a pretty good kiter as well, not as much as Rescuer, but just kiter. He's a pretty decent kiter for N, so it might be the cat lady. They might be preparing for the cat lady.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's one of Fafa's specialist characters. Obviously, we've seen a lot of value from. So we'll wait and see if that is going to be the ideal idea for them, or if they are going to go in a different direction here. As again, Embalmer, Finn, Merc, and the Cordy coming out here for the round 2 game for Omni. They did ban away the Goatman, so they decided to take away that meta character away from the side of Fafa. So we'll have to see if they want to stay in the meta pool. Obviously, something like a Hula is very playable on this map, or if they do want to look into that odd character pool they have, definitely expecting Anne as the first pick if that is the case.
He also has played Wu-Ching in this map. I'm pretty sure I've seen his Wu-Ching in this map. He only brings attention if I... Oh, it's Anne. It's Anne. We were right. Never mind.
Yeah, it is worth noting. You are completely right. He did in the quarterfinals against TFC, got a 3K on Moon River Wu Chang, but not going to be what we get blessed with right now, because we are getting the Disciple coming out here as Anne Trump, the name of the build. So it looks like definitely a couple of Anne builds ready to go. Gonna be presumably some variant of Trump card. And I mean, considering the Prospector ban, the player, and the situation, it doesn't surprise me at all to play a stable character.
This surprises, yes. It does not surprise that the Papa is going Anne in this map with the Prospector ban in specific. And Trump card, I don't agree with Trump card. You really need Trump card in Moonliver Park with Anne because it's such a big map. She cannot travel with the cats all across the map. I mean, she can do so in Red Church, Arms Factory, but not really Moonliver Park. It's way too big of a map without Trump card.
Yeah, interesting spawns here.
Are something alright.
Paul Blums just wants to turn on second stop, I'm assuming, instead of spawning at the North Bridge, but it definitely looks a bit odd.
Yeah, it does look kind of goofy because you would expect the Mercenary to be in Bridge, but he's near the 2-story just to turn off the stop, to turn on the stop, yes. And overall from the builds, we see one carry without border time, which is Embalmer, Hasui. We have the Fire Visitor and the Mercenary with border time and Ty Turner, and the Coordinator with the standard border time and Knee Jerk. The end? I think Fafa might just chase the Embalmer from the spawn. Unless she wants to chase the Mercenary, which I don't think is a good idea because of his cheer time and his elbow pads. He can do pretty well against N.
Yeah, we'll see which way this direction is going to go from the side of Fafa. I mean, really, you can go for anyone here. Obviously, the notable
Yeah,
problem is if you go for the Embalmer here to start, then Problems has turned on the second stop, and if you don't
that's
get on
true.
the coaster, Embalmer is across the map, and you don't have a good way to get to them. So, obviously, we'll see what the trait is going to be from Fafa, but considering it's a Trump build based on the name, I'm expecting this to be something like a Blink, which obviously isn't really going to help you get
I
across
think
the
it's
map
warp.
like that. So, you think it's
I
Warp
think it
with
might be
Trump?
warp. Yeah, I think it's warp. I think it is. It might be a trump card to teleport. I've seen a lot of fans just bring warp N because warp N is like the optimal build for N in specific, and then the trump card is trump card to teleport to get to the gates at the ciphers faster. Usually, let's
Well,
wait and see.
we'll see which way the Disciple wants to go here as we get first sight on the builds is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, definitely. Yeah, she's going for the Embalmer as expected. I already expected from the spawn. She will go after the Embalmer. Whenever you spawn over there, it's usually just for the person next to stop. He might take a hit very soon. There's not really he can do. He might just take this hit and take the coaster, as we were expecting. The stop is turned on. The mercenary is running around. Yeah, he's running around because he just turned on the stop. The end can catch up pretty easily with the cats. She has the catwalk already available. Yeah, she has warp, by the way. She has warp. I was mentioning that N usually brings warp. She has warp. Yes.
I'm very interested by the Warp Trump card as well, but I suppose the map is so
Yeah.
big you're going to need that teleport at later portions of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
game. So we'll wait
Exactly.
and see here as Fafa. It's a really nice max range cat here, but obviously not going to actually connect on to much meaning as Lay's here just going to keep running away. It's a really long first kite here, obviously, with being able to go from 1 stop to 4 stop, but some rotations have to be made in order for it to happen. So it's not necessarily the quickest decoding game. 85, 60, 25, and a 5%. So we'll see Lay's here continue to try and run away. The cat will connect onto them. Not going to be a question here, but we do have a pallet to work with, so Lay is not going to be in any type of danger. But a nice mind game and jump by Fafa. But it might just be the insta-coffin here on chair, which again will get the Embalmer back to stop 1. So it's a lot of movement coming out here by the Embalmer, but could potentially save that coffin. Fluff is right here in the area, but no, it will just be the coffin used. So Fluff trying to
Yeah.
harass out a bit.
Just trying
But
to
yeah,
harass
we'll
a
just
little
warp.
with the gun, and the warp is coming through to get closer to the coffin too. As well as coffin can be used as a way to travel across the map to get the coffin faster. So with Embalmer, warp usage is pretty strong. Throwing this ball to try and destabilize the end aim. I don't think it worked so well, and this mind game coming through, very interesting interaction. Trying to break the ball and just getting it.
Oh.
Definitely interesting interaction with this fire investigator. It was funny to see him making a charge attack, then getting away with the ball, and the end charge attacking, and then finally getting the hit throw on him. Definitely interesting. Gonna break the both balls. The Fire Skate is doing a great job supporting this ball, but he just has tight turner though. You don't really want to see yourself injured when you have tight turner.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to try and heal or if they'll just allow Mercenary to go for any of those risky plays.
Yeah.
As we'll see the cross come out here, try and cycle these cats over toward the Embalmer. We'll get the connection and the hit
Good
here.
shot. That cat was so big. The stun range was really good. The other big cat is still coming. The size of those cats, okay. It's
Yeah,
so
we'll
goofy
just keep
to see a huge circle in the map of a cat flying towards you.
And,
Overall,
2 ciphers
he
being
might
worked on
do
right
it.
now, 40 and 70 with the
Yeah.
Mercenary coming in. As we'll see which way Merc wants to go for this. I definitely would expect just a standard rescue elbow pad to
Yeah.
safety or some order of rescue elbow pad and to get hit once. So we'll see here. Will be a nice stuff here coming out from
my
on.
God,
Gets
these
the
cats are
double hit.
so good.
Yeah, really nice.
The
If it's not a
cat is
Mercenary
so
though, that's
good.
horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, getting the double down on the Embalmer and the Mercenary. Definitely not what we want to see. This Mercenary is trying to protect this Embalmer for the longest he can. The Cypher is almost primed. That was insane. The Cypher is almost primed. I didn't even realize the Cypher is almost done. Doesn't have board
And
time though. So I do think it's gonna be a tie. It's probably gonna be a tie.
Yeah, the Merc fortunately does a nice pallet by Lays here. He's able to keep them safe for the moment. They'll rotate back over to the next set.
You have to
Is going to
pop.
get jumped out. It's just an early pop here. Obviously, no reason to wait with no borrowed time. So it is going to be a 4-player endgame, but Embalmer going to die at the start of it. Trump card teleport available to try and stall here. We're going to spot PP Moon on this
He does
door.
see
So
in the gate. Yes, he probably will just go after Paper Moon, I'm pretty sure. There's not really not a reason to not go because Fire Music has no items. As we had noticed, he tried to support
he's
Embalmer.
sprinting toward the dungeon here. If these survivors are ready to go here, a good dodge by the Fire Investigator could get a nice play here, but looks like they'll get caught, gonna get knocked away from the dungeon. So yeah, it'll be a tie.
Exactly. Against Annie, it's pretty hard to get dungeon. It's one of the hardest hunters to get dungeon from because she can just stand you at the dungeon and just hit you out, and you cannot escape the cats. You cannot escape the cat lady. The cat lady's grasp is way too good.
Yeah, well done there, obviously, by the survivors. Able to get a tie against one of Fafa's specialist characters there. They got a 4K against GSL the last time he played it in the semifinals. So, again, well done there. Able to secure some escapes here as they're trying to claw their way back. And not even really claw, they lost one round. So, work their way back into an even state in the series here. Obviously, now they're hoping on their hunter-killer boss to be able to pick up a 3K. And if they do, obviously, they're not guaranteed tie yet, but they're in a good position to move forward. And if they do get a 4K with Killer Boss here, then they will be completely tied 7-2, 7-2. So we'll have to wait and see which way they are going to go with it. But obviously, Omni, they'd love a 3K and they would be thrilled with a 4.
Exactly. A 4K will definitely just keep them up, all tied up with a round one from the YOYO team. They will the points are tied up as well as rounds. If they get to 3K, it's just going to be the round side up. In the long run, the rounds are more important than the points. But you will definitely just want that 4K. Just in case, you'd never know what the future reserves you, so definitely want to try and get the 4K with everything you have. I have to mention, they did a very good coaster strategy. By the way, like the Embalmer Skybus all revolved around the coaster, and then the coffin being so far away. It was a very good use of the Embalmer coffin, and I really like the strategy. It's usually just 4 ties. It just guarantees a tie completely against such characters such as Anne. She doesn't really have that Cypher pressure. As we saw, the Cyphers were rushing. Like, she got completely Cypher rushed because she doesn't really have that pressure. Even though the support and everything didn't allow them to decode, the Fire Mercy was not decoding as much. And the Mercy had to move away from his Cypher too to rescue. They still put up a very good Cypher rush because N doesn't really have the Cypher pressure that other hunts can provide. Yeah. I think this overall was a very good plan from the survivors. I liked it a lot, so I definitely agree with everything they did.
So, we'll get our players back in the lobby once again here. Survivors ready to go, waiting just a moment to make sure that we can get our hunter-killer boss in and ready to roll here. So we'll see them all. There we go. Get them in the lobby. We'll ready everybody up now, and then we'll roll back in here. Again, it's going to be Peddler Global Band here alongside Puppeteer, First Officer, and the Magician. So we'll see which way the teams are going to want to build. Obviously, a lot of strong Survivors Global Band away from them there, as Killer Boss likely going to be facing a Goatman ban here, so can play anyone else.
I'm expecting something such as Ivy, but it's a really big map. But Killer Boss does have an Ivy, and Killer Boss is really like that Ivy too. So I don't know what in such a big map what he want to play. But definitely the Ivy. I have a huge emphasis on the Ivy.
Yeah, we'll just be the Seer and the Antiquarian band away here again. Not really surprising. It's a pretty standard set piece for the side of Omni's Hunter here. It's what they banned against Rankers in basically every round. Seer, Anti, Seer, Anti, Seer. Obviously, just keep hitting the same characters. And then it is going to be an Ivy ban here, so they're actually going to allow the Goatman to stay on the table.
It's opposite. I was saying that he will pick Ivy, and then they will just ban the Goatman. It's going to be the opposite then. He's definitely going to be the Goatman. Now we have almost it settled down. I think he's going to be the Goatman.
Yeah, I think Killer Boss is a little bit shocked here, as obviously the first pick's a Grave Archer coming out, as we'll see the Meteorologist ban here. A little bit of heavy deliberation.
Yeah, the picks are pretty expected from this team. YOYO does like the Archer, does like the Gravekeeper. The Professor too, we have seen Professor before from YOYO. Pretty standard. It's a Goatman counter comp though. I have to mention it's a Goatman counter comp. They're riding up for this Goatman. They're already expecting it. And Mechanic ban. Mechanics is a really
Yeah.
strong survivor against Anita, yes. Against, for example, Goatman and Hulabalu, they struggle a lot against Mechanic. Since I have to waste a lot of resources just trying to get it down on the bot in specific, not even the survivor, just trying to get it down in the bots. And the
Perfumer
Perfumer,
again on 4 here.
again.
I guess it's not surprising. Obviously, they show it's a good emphasis pick here. They're allowed to play it again. If they're expecting something like that Goatman potentially to come out again, you know what? Why not play Goatman counters? So I think it's a really tough situation here for Killer Boss to play the Goatman into Gravekeeper, Professor, Perfumer, but we'll obviously wait and see what the final decision is from Omni.
Let's wait and see. It's probably going to be the Goatman. We're just expecting the Goatman. If anything else comes out, it will surprise us, and we want the surprise, of course. We want to be surprised. We don't want to have all the picks already in our heads. As so far it has happened, I think we didn't really have any surprises. We were already expecting the characters that were picked.
So I'm looking through Omni's previous matches. Obviously, the only thing Killer Boss played in the quarterfinal was Ivy and Goatman, and with Pitt piloting the characters for the semifinal, can't necessarily speak too much as to what to expect here. Obviously, Killer Boss is a very classic meta hunter right now, so I definitely think that there's a lot of things they can go, right? They can go the Goatman, which would be the least surprising. I wouldn't be surprised by a Hula. I wouldn't be surprised by an Opera. Anything outside of that, I think there's definitely a bit of surprise factor. Maybe we get the classic a nightmare on the Moon River Park, but we'll wait and see
Nightmare.
here as survivor talents have
Nightmare.
been locked in. And now Killer Boss on to the character selection, and yeah, he says, you know what, your entire team is built out of counters. I'm gonna pick the character that they're countered by, and I'm gonna go into the Goatman.
He just claimed with the Goatman. As we were expecting and we're talking about, it's just the Goatman. They bend Ivy, goes Goatman. You ban one of the characters I want to play, I will go to the other character I want to play. Even though you're counter-comping and even though you're getting prepared for it, I'll do it anyway. I'm confident enough. He's just saying he's confident enough.
Yeah, I don't hate this. I mean, Killer Boss is one of the most competent Goatman players in all of the EU, so I am definitely not that surprised by the willingness just to ball out with it. As right now we're getting the starts of what looks to be a horizontal line,
but the spawns are rather something.
So we're doing a horizontal line with nobody at 2-stop?
Yes. The spawns are rather interesting. Let's look at the builds. We have knee-jerk on both the Professor and the Archer, and we have tight turn on both the Perfumer and the Gravekeeper. They were not expecting the Goatman then, because they are not bringing Firewheels, they're bringing knee-jerk. That's rather interesting. I have to mention it's rather interesting. The spawns
you know what?
was...
You ban the guy's third strongest hunter in theory, consider if we count the Peddler, obviously, as something he's played. You pick Professor, Gravekeeper, and Perfumer. I think that there's a fair reason to say that you wouldn't expect them to play the Goatman, considering, but you know what? There are no counters to the Killer Boss Goatman.
There are already counters, but the builds are definitely something. The builds are definitely not
for bar time as well.
Yeah, for board times. I mean, it's fair enough to have it for board times. It just shows that survivors are confident. They don't really need anything extra to kite with. For example, the Perfumer doesn't really need the flywheel or the knee jerk to kite with. Just is already confident enough to have only tight turn and just rely on the perfumes to kite with. So yeah, I think it's just pretty standard too. The only thing that surprised me just knee jerk over flywheel. But overall, let's wait to see what the survivors can do. Who do you think is gonna get chased?
Right now, obviously, I feel like the grade A answer is going to be this Gravekeeper, because you don't really know who else is going to have the Tide Turner. Obviously, Perfumer or the Professor could have it without problem, so I definitely wouldn't hate a Gravekeeper chase, but obviously, if you go for that Gravekeeper, you're burning a lot of your power bar there really early for those cages on the shovels, so we'll see if that is going to be the call. I don't necessarily hate turning toward 2-story and going to the Professor either, but we'll wait and see here as we get things rolling underway here in round 2's second half. Omni Hunter YOYO survivors, as Killer Boss indeed is looking straight to this Gravekeeper, and yeah, Killer Boss very, very competent here on the Hunters. We'll get ready to go here as will be a pretty early shovel, not surprising, and after the shovel they're just gonna leave, so Just Better needs to try and stay hidden here on the Archer.
After the Archer, he knows the Archer's around, but doesn't really... Oh, he's not turning around. Oh, he's not really turning around. He doesn't really know. Yeah, I think just Better is doing a great job hiding. He might get found out soon. Okay,
There we
yes,
go.
he found. My boss finally found him. He got some energy through though. At least he got some energy. As a good man, you can actually manage to not use any cages at the beginning and just
Nice.
get save up some resentments for later and to get the chase through. Like he has almost a full on energy bar. It's like it's almost full on. The excitement coming
Excitement
through.
comes out to tank the archer shot. You know what? It's a little bit insane, but
Oh,
I fully respect it here from Killer
the
Boss. I think
basement
he
is here
gets
too.
dungeon. That is a
The
really rough
basement.
start here.
Um,
Gravekeeper's in the area at least, so Gravekeeper can do Gravekeeper
at least the
shenanigans with
great keeper,
basement,
yes.
but wow.
At least the great keeper is a rescuer, but definitely you would not. I don't think the RG expected the excitement because she didn't really position herself. Oh, it's a backdoor rescue actually. He didn't realize the Gravekeeper came in through the shovel. He's a pretty early rescue as well, and getting this hit on the Gravekeeper, just trying to get some damage through. It was a pretty good surprise. The Gravekeeper came in so early. As against the basement Goatman, you kind of have to, though.
Yeah, we'll see Cage come out here, nicely done by Killer Boss to navigate around some tough terrain here. As we'll see the Archer here using another side of this crossbow, able to re-go through the portal, and it is going to get the stun here. As, again, another Cage coming out here. It will need to be a connection here. Going to just hit the heart onto the Goatman is just better now. Trying to keep this movement up. Going to go back through here. We'll see the mind game from Killer Boss come out as the Cage drops. Next Cage is up, and we should get the hit right here. Archer does go down. Basement again?
Unfortunately, does not have a flywheel. Archer has no flywheel, so he can't really mind game the cage. She just has to come back and through and just trying to mind game with that. And getting basemented again. The basement, she didn't really try to prioritize to get away from the basement. I think they might just sell. They don't have the Gravekeeper at full health, they will just sell.
Yeah, Perfumer is in the area, maybe just trying to provide some tin if he moves over toward the force stop here. So we'll see if Eve does just stay hidden. The other two players are on the complete other. Eve's gonna might get spotted here. No, he doesn't walk through the pallet. But the other two players, complete other side of the map here. So it is just gonna be the Eve tinnitus pressure here as pallets dropped here. Killer Boss might just choose to break them, but I suppose as a Goatman does not care about pallets. So just gonna keep an eye out for any players trying to lurk around here as Archer officially dies here.
And getting the resentment bar at full. The resentment bar is at full, which is really scary. A good way with the full resentment bar is really, really scary.
They did
You can
heal
get down
Gravekeeper
really
as well.
Yes, in the meantime, it was a pretty good smart decision. So
Wow.
Oh! No perfume use.
Okay.
No perfume use. I don't think the perfumer was waiting for it. The perfumer was not expecting it. I don't think
Did Killer Boss see them? Did he see like some particles from the skin at some point? I have truthfully zero clue how he was that accurate on somebody who, to my understanding, was hiding pretty well. But obviously Killer Boss saw something that we didn't, knew Eve was there. A perfect Cage gets the hit immediately, and Perfumer, no time to use any of those items as well. So really well done there by the Hunter.
They're in a very tough position. I have to mention they don't have a last cipher. They haven't popped the two other ciphers. One of them is at 98. Will get popped at any time. But they don't have a last cipher. Which is a pretty tough situation to be in. They're trying to pop the other one at 70. And the Griffin is coming through. Oh. He might... I think just better the Killer Boss is trying to
Oh.
the latest rescue. Yes.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted the after half, but...
Yes, he wanted to try and after half the rescue. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. The perfumer has two perfumes to try and mind game with. Just going back with the perfume. Let's see. Oh, that hit just goes through, yes. Goldman's hitbox pretty good against inside the cage. Not as well as in outside the cage, I'm pretty sure. Because of the slowdowns the survivors have inside the cage as well. It's just, it's a rough situation to be in. The perfume is the one with Tide Turner. They can't really sell out for time with Tide Turner. The downs will be pretty fast because this Goatman has a full-on resentment bar already. With full presence, the resentment bars are charged up even faster. Pressuring the Cypher as well, I don't think they're in a very good position. They're definitely just not in a good position. Getting it through the shovel, no. There's still a shovel left. I don't even know how much... It's barely any progress in the shovel though. The shovel is left from the Gravekeeper is barely any progress.
Yeah, again, Goatman does have the trump card, but obviously doesn't really want to swap the blink considering the game state. So we'll see here, trying to get back onto Eve, but is going to struggle to get it through the Professor. So it is just going to be a return to the Gravekeeper. Stopping the Cypher is good enough for the moment. So we'll see Killer Boss rotate over. Should have spotted IEF there. Yeah, he's going to spot him through the wheel here. Yeah. Not the best guys there. So just going to be a quick spot there. Maybe if we don't have a skin on, we don't get spotted there as quickly, but... The bright blue through the wheel was not difficult.
Yeah, it was quite interesting, the hiding. I think everyone saw him. He still tried to crawl anyway and tried to hide, but everyone saw him. That's
As
coming
yeah,
from
New
up here.
Cages stunned by 13 MS, but excitement, terror shock. That is a disaster here for the survivors. As it's an extra down out of
That is,
nowhere. Professor goes out.
that is
Now
a
it's
dual
just the
hunter's
perf.
experience. That is a dual hunter's experience. You get tear shock very often in dual hunters while vaulting a pallet after pallet stunning. That is a dual hunter's experience.
As, yeah, we'll
You
get back on
definitely.
over here. Professor gonna get grabbed up. It will be Perf
Yeah.
trying to move over. Do we just drop to get to the perfumer here? It looks like we just dropped to get the perfumer here. Surely, no? Do we not drop? We're just gonna
He's trying
follow?
to balloon. He's just trying to balloon hit the perfumer.
Here's the prof. It's gonna get one here. It's all chips though, because we are playing Goat Man. So Perfumer able to heal it all up. Rather amusing to watch there. Just smash swinging. As IEF here gonna go into the shovel here. Is just gonna immediately recancel the cages. We'll go through. Hits onto the Perfumer.
It was barely any shovel. If you notice, it was like a little bit of red. I don't know, shovel. It was so little the shovel is already gone. It's just a bait for the hunter to not chase him.
And yeah, now we're going to continue onwards here as the Gravekeeper, rather, going to get caught up here in a cage. Not necessarily too sure where to go here. Going to get taken out on the side. His healing is, again, it's a rough one right now. Professor, all of the decoding progress in the world has popped all 4 ciphers, but I don't see a world that 13MS picks up the Penta cipher game here. As we'll see if they can manage it. He is injured right now. Obviously, Perfumer coming over is 13MS now. Going to get targeted. Has the vault here. Will get it here. The spike comes out as well for safety onto Killer Boss there. Well done by MS. As will be Eve now trying to get the rescue here, but it will be the Professor targeted out. Nice spike, or nice shield again here, but Terror shocked on the edge of the window.
Again,
They just can't decode.
Got tear shock twice already. Yeah, they cannot decode. They just can't decode. The Cypher's getting way too pressured by this Goatman. Goatman has such a good Cypher pressure. And the Perfumer has no items already. She will just get the hit very quickly. Does everyone have self-heal? Yeah, everyone has self-heal, fortunately, for this team. They have to open a new Cypher. They have to get the Graveyard on the other Cypher, yes. The Graveyard finally got to that Cypher, but the Perfume is already down. And the 13 MS Professor is already down too. They're both down. He might want to go for the Cypher, no? He
wants to share the Perfumer so they can't just keep healing themselves to keep the pressure up right now. Get that second kill secured. Now with Professor. Professor has no exit path, so if we can down Professor and then trump card teleport to the last Cypher, we are in a perfect situation here for the side of Killer Boss to close the game out. As Cage comes up here, is going to get spiked. Excitement comes out, Terror Shock, but we just used Excitement. We don't have trump card right now. We can't trump card teleport.
It's the third Terror Shock on this Professor.
Oh, he gets off the Cypher. Okay, so we'll just be IEF now, trying to play for the dungeon. Not going to commit to the Cyphers right now. As we'll see Killer Boss here. Does he have a chair here? I don't think he has a chair yet. He has to slug.
Yeah. Like,
At this point, though, he's going to have to bleed MS out.
Yeah, because Professor has no self-heal, so he can just slug. There's not really a reason to cheer. And he knows that the Gravekeeper is around this area because he has Tinnitus, and he saw the Cypher wiggling in here.
Oh, he saw him through the window. Yeah, he saw the corner of his hat. He saw his hat. He knows, I think.
The Gravekeeper was opening a chest in here, too. I think he heard the noise, too.
Okay, he heard the noise. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a perfume from this chest. He can try mind game something. He's going for the heal. He's healing the Professor. They're
He gets the heal off. Insta rehit on Professor. Professor's gonna take more bleed, but the problem is Dungeon isn't in this one location it could benefit as IEF drops basement, but it just won't matter. He can't get to Dungeon. Professor's basically bleeding out. Well, almost even gonna get the we get the drop hit, and it actually just ended up walking down. But 4K from Killer Boss, and we are tied now at 9-9.
Yes, everything is signed up. Everything is signed up. Round 1, round 2. The points rounds, everything is signed up. First round being the win for YOYO, and second round being the win for Omni. Very good game from the Goatman. Very good game from the survivors. Poor Professor got Terror Shock like 3 times. With Excitement twice, and one of them was just regularly on the window. Definitely was where they were going through something, trying to pop the Cypher. And unfortunately, the Goatman Cypher pressure is really, really good, and Killer Boss did a splendid job just Cypher pressuring. They could not get it pop out. They could not pop the Cypher, unfortunately.
And yeah, that was a 4K with no trump card value, no detention value there. So Killer Boss essentially playing no key traits there for that game. And obviously, if it made later in the game, he would have been perfectly fine for it. But obviously, in the actual game state, Killer Boss able to pick up the 4K without the benefits of anything like an Insolence or a confined space.
Yes.
So well done there to the side of Killer Boss. They're able to get the win that his team desperately needed to tie the series. So everything now dead even. And obviously, with the exception of global bans, we're essentially starting up a brand new BO3.
They are. Everything's just tied up points rounds, so we're starting out already. With the global bans, we don't see Goatman anymore from Killer Boss. We don't see a Peddler from Killer Boss as well. We might see Pit, since they can maybe want to do a substitutions. Let's see if they want to make any subs. I know YOYO does not want to do any subs. We're checking right now. YOYO does not want to do any subs, but Omni might want to. Since they have 2 hunters and they have a sub hunter available too. We know like Pit loves playing his round 3 hunters, such as a Bonbon, the Wheel. So we might see Pit. Let's wait and see. Do you think they will make a substitution, or?
I think that I have not seen Killer Boss play too many characters. And so it would not surprise me if so they are going to sub out Killer Boss for Pit. It's not a surprise to me. Killer Boss is a fantastic meta hunter, but obviously I don't know too much about them, but I have not seen them play anything outside of meta, so I don't know what they can play outside of. Now you're going to have Peddler and Goatman banned, you're going to get hit by 2 more target bans, so I don't know that it's stable to keep that player in. Obviously that's up to the Omni decision here, but they are going to make the sub. Pit going to come in here to start out what essentially again is a brand new best of 3 with some global bans, so we'll see what Omni are going to ban out here, as it will once again return to YOYO for the map selection. Is Pit Stopper's obviously a couple more maps that he's able to, a lot more characters we've seen him play. We saw Hullabaloo and Wheel against Rankers, both of which able to get success, 6 kills in total across those 2 rounds. So we'll have to keep an eye on, especially what map we move to. As if we move to a Wheel friendly map, maybe he's looking at the Wheel. Obviously the same can be said for Hulla, or realistically any of the other characters. Pit's obviously been around for ages, so a lot of characters they can play.
Indeed, has been around for a while, so he has a bunch of picks. Let's see what they will ban. Omni's banning Secret, which is pretty... I think it's standard too. If you're starting off again, you don't really want to give a benefit to survivors or the hunter. You just want to make it even, so you will want a different map from Sacred Heart Hospital.
And yeah, we'll see what YOYO want to select here. Again, they've already selected that Leos, of course, Moon Park off the board, Hospital as well. As I definitely think there's a lot of places they could go. In the past, YOYO has played Darkwoods and Hospital in the playoffs, so we'll see which way they are going to go. Obviously, Darkwoods is the only map they've played in elims that it has been or is still available right now, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So obviously they're able to play any of the maps, obviously not just the ones they've seen. So they could bring to Chinatown, they could go to Lakeside, obviously a lot more options than just that. Arms Factory available as well here, but a lot of that is going to depend on what Fafa is looking to play character-wise here. Obviously a very wide character pool, but it will just be the Darkwoods.
Darkwoods, very interesting map. I mean, we have seen Darkwoods being played a lot lately. I don't think it's a terrible map. A lot of people say that Darkwoods is a horrible map to play in. I don't think it's a horrible map. I think it's just people are not as used as much to playing it. I think it's a pretty okay-ish map. There are worse maps in my opinion. For example, I despise Chinatown because of the Cypher Lock positions. Darkwoods is a pretty okay-ish map. It's just interesting. It's fun. It's a funny map.
And yeah, we'll see which way it is going to go here. Omni now up to select their starting faction here again. Fresh Hunter coming in, could send them out now, try and set the pace for this new set of rounds. As obviously the other end, the survivors for Omni already warmed up. They're already ready to go. They had a nice go in the last round. So we'll wait and see which way the Omni crew wants to take it here. Obviously Fafa and Pit going to be the Hunters, the same 8 survivors we've seen so far as well throughout today. So just waiting a moment longer, waiting to see which way Omni want to go with the starting faction here. Any prediction?
I think they might just send in the Hunter first. They might just send in the Hunter so the Pit has a little bit less pressure on him. Everything is tied up. They just want to have a little bit of a leeway on Pete, so he doesn't get so nervous before playing and such. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the Hunter. What do you think? Yep,
Well,
there's gonna be the Hunter.
yeah, there's going to be Omni Hunter coming out here.
Yes.
I definitely think there's a lot of rational arguments for either
Yeah.
side, obviously, considering, again, we're basically at the start of a new series. Again, obviously, you have all the global bans and the map bans and all the baggage that comes from playing rounds, but if you look at the actual score, the pressure is not on anyone in specific. Like, obviously, again, we're back at the same spot, right? I think the Hunters have a lot of pressure to close away those simple kills. The Survivors, obviously, are going to keep trying to force away whatever escapes they can get from these two fantastic Hunters. Obviously, Killer Boss had a great series, had some nice plays overall, able to get, I think, 3 kills on average. So, not a bad day for Killer Boss, as he will lay to rest for presumably the rest of the day. I don't imagine they would want to sub them back in, but one thing to keep in mind, again, I believe we only do 3 rounds of global bans, so this is going to be the last round that we guaranteed get new characters added to that global pool. So, I'm definitely going to be able to try and potentially, now that the scores are even, save some of your stronger characters to keep playing from round 4 to round 5, potentially to overtime as well. Definitely a possibility considering we're tied after 2. So we'll have to wait and see which way the teams want to go with it. But obviously keep in mind that that global ban list is very, very close to running out of extra room. So
it's pretty big already. For the Survivors, for YOYO Survivors, we have Magician, First Officer, Professor, Gravekeeper, Puppeteer, and Archer global band, and for the Hunter from Omni, it's Peddler and Goatman. Already a lot of Survivors, 2 Safe Rescuers, already banned, global band for YOYO. It's definitely harder to go on from the further rounds without the stable Rescuers. So let's wait and see what they want to pick. We already going
Seer
for the
Antiquarian ban. Is it going to be Seer Antiquarian ban? No, Seer Meteorologist going to be the hover here. Meteorologist, a very strong character we haven't seen picked today.
Yeah, we haven't seen her at all. I'm very surprised, actually. We haven't seen Meteorologist at all. She's pretty strong.
I know she's been banned a couple times earlier. No Seer ban. We're going to let Seer through for Meteorologist Forward, which gets locked in.
Forward? He might go Hulabalu then. Does he want to play Hulabalu? He might want to play Hulabalu.
I think it's definitely possible for leaving Seer open, as Shadow and Opera get banned.
I mean, Hulabalu can still deal with the Seer Owl at full presence. Not really at first presence, but at full presence can pretty much deal with the Seer Owl. It does depend on the chase. And they're just picking Fire Investigator and Acrobat. They don't want to pick the Seer who is open for them. They don't really want to pick the Seer. Just going with Fire Investigator and Acrobat, which are very strong kiters. I don't disagree with the choices though.
As Antiquarian comes out as the next ban with Fire Investigator and Acrobat getting picked up here. Definitely interesting to see this YOYO pressure on the Acrobat here. It's definitely a character they place a lot of pressure onto. Is Patient going to get grabbed up?
Patience. They're going with 3 strong kiters. Everything that they have picked is just strong kiters. They're really just trying to prioritize the kiting abilities. And the last one is Seer.
There's Seer. Yeah. Don't want to let him stay off the global ban list. I don't disagree with this, honestly.
Yes. Just getting the Seer out of the way. So if you want to pick him first, just get him out of the way. Let's see what the last pick should be the Rescuer. Yeah, it's just Mercenary. Just a standard Mercenary. Since First Officer and Gravekeeper are global ban, you just have Mercenary now. And you probably would just spam Mercenary and Wildling maybe in the further rounds. You only have 2 rescuers available, so we'll try to just work with what you have.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Pit will play here. I definitely agree a little bit. I'm on the same page of Hula being the likely option here. So yes. I doubt we'll see Peddler, Goatman, Hula, Shadow, or Opera again after this round for the Omni Hunter side. I don't see a world Ivy or Opera don't just keep getting banned throughout the rest of the series. But regardless, not going to be the relevant point. Mercenary is Mercenary their only real rescuer left? They've used Gravekeeper, they've used First Officer.
They have Wildling, they have Wildling, and they have Escapologist. Escapologist is also a rescuer.
Right.
Each rescuer is a rescuer too.
I forgot he was legal.
Yeah, he's legal. Yes, he's tournament legal. They have also Escapologist, which I don't think YOYO plays Escapologist though, so we won't see Escapologist from them. Maybe from Omni, because I think Omni might play Escapologist. Maybe, just maybe. But from these teams, I actually don't expect a apologist.
Yeah, I definitely think later in the series, especially in the later rounds, especially if they don't want to keep playing
Yes.
Mercenary over and over, that getting a little bit more
Yeah.
variety with something like the Wildling or obviously the Escape going to be very possible. Likely, maybe not. Maybe we do just keep reusing the same couple as Bloody Queen Hovered. No. Okay, I was
Dreamwitch.
absolutely shocked there for a
Dreamwitch.
second, but I don't hate the
Yeah,
Dream
Bloody
Witch
Queen.
here. You keep a lot of strong characters
Yes.
available for that later portions of the series, so I don't hate the Dream Witch here. I like it from Pitt.
Yeah, I like it too because Pitt is he's a well-known Dreamwitch player, so it's pretty actually expectable from him to go Dreamwitch, which is a comfort character of his. Let's look at the spawns. They're just standard spawns, I think. Oh, never. What? Okay, they're still picking. They're bringing the season with it. Please don't go with the mercenary over there.
Where's
Okay,
Finn?
okay,
Finn's not even on the map yet. Finn hasn't been clicked once. There he is, top middle.
okay.
Interesting spawns. I guess firing patient to stay alive.
It's pretty.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty standard. I don't know the optimal Darkwood spawns. I have seen a lot of people just spawning someone over there instead of in the T spawn type, the T type of spawn. I just have seen people inside the house. I know how you call it, the two-story. I didn't even sure how you call it, but it's like the house. Yeah, I have seen people spawning there very often, so I guess it's an optimal spawn at Darkwoods. I'm not all too familiar. Let's look at the builds first. We have Knee-Jerk on the Fire Investigator and Acrobat with Borrow Time. Everyone has Borrow Time. And Titurtle and on the Patient and the Mercenary.
Yeah, this will definitely be an interesting game. I haven't seen Pitt's Dream Witch in
Yeah.
quite a while. Obviously, not going to pick a character he's not confident in. So we'll see how this goes for the Dream Witch here. Obviously, expecting relatively standard build here, but maybe Pitt looking for something a little bit odd here. Is again, I don't necessarily think there's a super standout first target. Obviously, Mercenary will be a little bit tanky. Then someone like Patient could be a little bit tricky to fully down. But I realistically think they'll go down to the side of Patient unless they want to rotate over to the Florian.
I think so. Because chasing this house is pretty easy to corner people inside this house. So I think it might be after the Patient. Especially if he has Tide Turner. It's not as if Pitt knew that has Tide Turner. It might be an easier chase on him.
So, yeah, we'll see which way it is going to be here from the side of Pitt. As again, fully tied up after 2 rounds. We get going here. Round 3's opening half.
Funny skin. It's a funny skin. She's all pink and purple. All pink and purple Dream Witch.
Instantly
And of
spots
course,
out the
after the
Patient.
Patient. Yeah, of course, after the Patients. Putting some pressure on someone else, though? Maybe
Yeah,
thinking something else?
is going to
Just
leech
pressure
onto
us?
the Florian first here. Could definitely consider committing to this. Yeah, it doesn't look like Eve going to be the first chase here. Patient just getting harassed a little bit in the earliest portions of the game as Pitt trying to pull over this follower. Tries to body block a little bit. Pallet stun comes out. Just going to be the insta break here from the follower. Trying to catch up here to the Dream Witch main body. Is Pitt going to swap on over? Peeper coming. No, not a Peeper. Patroller. Yeah, it's not. Nice stun.
Nice, and canceling the Patroller. The Patroller not come out. That's very, very interesting. Very interesting play from the Sparring Investigator. He might get hit now. Yes. He tried to trade the Patroller. He tried to delay the Patroller.
Leech, though. Oh, the Leech is still following. Yeah. Well done here by the Florian to walk through the pallet. Nice knowledge to be ready on it as Pitt. Sending that follower away here to try and get the re-follow. Trying to catch up now to this side of the Fire Investigator is we'll see the re-rotate back over towards this airbag. Eve simply going to pick it up and collect it as Pitt.
Airbag, yes.
Main body patroller coming out here.
No, he cannot cancel it. Unfortunately, because it's main body. The follower maybe can cancel, but not the main body.
Yeah, I don't really know where we can go here for the Fire Investigator. Gonna send the main body to keep that Leech alive as Finn goes down here. Ciphers aren't bad though. 1 at 95, 1 at 80, 1 at 70. So survivors are at least able to stay on pace here as Merc will get leeched.
Yeah, Merc is already coming in. Do not get stuff because getting stuff against the Dream Witch is pretty easy. You don't really want to get stuff against the Dream Witch. So the pressure does not come through. Because of course you get double down against the Dream Witch, 2 chairs will come through, we can just leech the Mercenary and chair the Mercenary too, as well as the Fire Investigator. So that's the things that Dream Witch can do. You definitely don't want to be in that position. Very good elo path on the Mercenary, getting this rescue through with no Terror Shock, no double down. I'll save. And he's just gonna be down on the Florian. He can't really do anything.
As, yeah, we'll see if Pitt can continue the re-harassment here onto I Eat Food while that follower moves on over. Is going to try and get this D-Leech coming through here while he hides in the pallet main body on the way over, but we'll just be able to play pretty stable for the moment. Fire Investigator goes down, is gonna get the hit on the Mercenary. Well done there by Pitt. A little bit hard to tell, but he will bleed out here through his passive, so well done by Pitt here, able to, in theory, get the double down. I suppose, yeah, it is just the double down.
Yeah, it's just a double tier. He's gonna get the double tier. It's exactly the position I was telling you about.
Yeah.
At the same time, and they actually did it. Okay. Unfortunately.
And yeah, they still haven't quite popped the second cipher. I'm definitely curious to see. I'll have to take a peek at some of these talent builds to see if they're going for this audience effect strategy that has been so popular in the Eastern Asian countries as a hit comes out onto Acro.
Unfortunately, that the bomb was against the tree. I don't think he meant to bomb like that. He kind of ran against the tree. And unfortunately, the Fire Investigator gets farmed, so we'll just see the Fire Investigator getting down already and getting sent back to the manor.
So yes, this isn't something it's not something I've been keeping an eye on, but we are getting the quad audience effect here, which is, for anyone potentially wondering why we haven't seen that pop yet on the 98% cipher, audience effect available on all 4 players. So with somebody on chair, they will get a very nice decoding buff for the entire team here. As we'll see the chair go down, Fire Investigator will officially be sent back here, as it will be on now. We'll see who the next target is for Pip.
Of course, you would want to go for after Mercenary, but he still has an elbow pad. He has 2 elbow pads left. He has already seen a tier 1 time. They actually popped the cipher. You would they're not doing all this. They were trying to do it, but that first tier doesn't need now because of all the pressure. I don't think they can do it. They're scared that they might not be able to return that cipher later. Because to do the cipher, the audience effect, you definitely need to make sure you can return to the ciphers you have already, like the 98% and such, and make sure to pop them at the right time.
Well, we'll see I Eat Food here trying to work on this side. Is really just have followers harassing everybody right now. It's so hard to decode against a Dream Witch once they properly get set up. Pitt keeping the harassment up on everyone. Acro getting pressured. Merc getting pressured here is able to pop this leech off of him for the moment. As Pitt gonna swap over to this far body here. That's the leech on the side of the patient. Is Mercenary now trying to help cleanse them. They're just trying to clean up the map as much as they can. Remove followers from anyone available. So not too big of a surprise here.
They have someone decoding. Yes, 30 MS. Acrobat is decoding right now, but already getting pressured by the leech. I Eat Food is trying to decode too. Pops the cipher. Actually, they popped the ciphers. They're doing pretty well. Yes, all this pressure, they're doing really, really well. But he's not really committing on anyone. I have to mention, he's not really committing on anyone, so they're doing really well. He's actually just expending their resources, pressuring them a little, and trying to get the ciphers not decoded. But they're still decoding. They're still doing a great job to decode the ciphers.
As, yeah, it is going to be a main body patroller onto the Mercenary, followed by a trait swap over to Blink. First hit lands on the Mercenary. Still has elbow pads to work with, so definitely a bit of a challenge here. Again, all 4 players are running that borrowed time, as we'll see Pitt trying to send a body on over to the Merc. Has Blink available on this follower, so definitely able to get this pressure up if they can follow, but the ciphers are just too dangerous right now, so 13 MS is going to get followed up on. Not actually going to get leeched quite yet, as Pitt looking to stay over, keeping this pressure up on Mercenary.
They're not quite cipher locked, so they're in a good position. There's only 2 ciphers that kind of close to each other, but the other one is quite far away. What I see, yeah, the other one is quite far away. So not really enough cipher lock position, so it's good for the survivors. They paid attention to the cipher layout and you really get cipher locked. Yes, with all paths from the Mercenary. Delaying this hit.
Now Blink.
It really needs to be cheering him. Oh, missing
nice
the
follow.
Blink.
Yeah, Merc can try and stall this out a little bit longer. I don't know if he wants to use the elbow pad quite yet, but we'll see here as Acro is going to officially get leeched here. He's been getting harassed a little bit here by the main body, but it will just be I Eat Food here playing really stable.
Yes, very good kite from him. Unfortunately, the Pit missed the blink. I have to mention he missed the blink, so it's on cooldown now. He can really do anything. They're trying to heal the Mercenary too. They might be able to do it. His Pit is trying to pressure this Acrobat way too much.
As, yeah, Acro going to keep rotating around here. Has this follower harassing quite a bit. Just uses a bomb to make a little bit more distance. As it will be the heal onto the mercenary as well. So all of that kite earlier completely wasted from the side of Pit. Not able to get any value off of it with the heal coming through. In the meantime, 2 Cyphers progged up to 30%. As Acrobat still getting harassed. It was a great start for Pit, but the survivors have done a great job. A lot of tenacity here, able to fight back. As we'll see for the moment here, Cyphers continuing to get decoded. Cross side of the map, 50%. Now is Acrobat trying to move on over. Another bomb onto Pit here. Not going to get too much value. Should be able to get the first hit here. Is no, the stun comes through. Well done by the Acrobat, and Pit is struggling here. 65% decoding.
Unfortunately, the survivors are doing way too well, just delaying the hits, not really pressing. They're pressing the ciphers, but they're not committing to the ciphers. They're doing a very good long game against a Dream Witch. This is exactly what you need to do against a Dream Witch. Not really committing to the ciphers, just trying to run away from the cipher whenever those followers coming after you. Just making it slow, playing a slow game, accepting that you have to try and just use your resources to stay alive. Don't get any injuries on the board. Oh, nice blink. I'm actually glad that the patient didn't really commit to the hook, so you can use it for later.
So, yeah, it's interesting here by the side of Pit. Obviously, any of these leeches are going to get cleansed almost immediately. All 3 players have a crystal to allow themselves to cleanse themselves. So we'll see the main body here just trying to cover these 2 ciphers that Mercenary has been harassing. They're at 66 and 36 respectively, with the 3rd cipher across the map also at 36 on the dot. As it will be Pit trying to keep the harassment up here on Mercenary. Just needs to stop him from decoding. Doesn't even necessarily need to be getting hits here as he forces the elbow pad now, but we'll see Pit continuing to harass onto Just Better's patient. Half HP right now. I believe that follower does have Blink available as well, so we'll see if they are able to get it here. Yeah, this body has Blink, so we'll see if Pit can get something going, but the Cypher harassment here is really good by the survivors. They know just when to back off here. All 3 above half now.
Yep, it's really good they're not cipher locked. They're not cipher locked, so Pit has to come all the way across the map to pressure the other one and the other one, and they constantly just keep rotating within each other to pressure the ciphers. Just making sure nobody gets downed. And oh, very interesting interaction with this leech. I actually don't know what happened to this leech. I didn't really pay attention to what was happening to this leech.
Oh, it just got pallet stunned, it looked like.
Oh yeah.
The pallet came down a little bit slowly on the spectator POV. Is Just Better is gonna get down tier Cypher 85. It is still, of course, a full borrowed time, so this isn't a guaranteed play. You can force the tie here by all means if you're Pit, maybe get a 3K. You have detention, so there's not too great of a play. Obviously, the Mercenary doesn't necessarily care, so we'll have to wait to see what it is going to be for the moment. I Eat Food staying local to the area of the Cypher. 13 MS coming over as well. So main body Blink.
the Cypher on the Mercenary, yes. And it's just a standard rescue. They will pop after someone goes down. Even if the leech hits the Mercenary can just pop with the delay damage. Yes, making the pop come through now. We see the dungeon is here. Pit has to be careful and just down someone immediately so they don't get dungeon. He might try to pressure the gates though with the leeches. I'm not sure how the range for the leeches works in this map because I don't really play Dream Witch that often. But I imagine you cannot really pressure both gates with the leeches. It's not as easy. Hasn't committed to anyone yet. Hasn't committed to anyone yet.
It's really tough right now. It needs to make sure nobody gets on these doors as well, or at least if somebody's on the door, they know that there is somebody on the door and he's getting pressure. As Merc moving over to this door again, not really a position that he can just pop the cipher, or pop the door rather. So we'll see it here, just continued pressure. Detention is getting burned down though, so the longer that they go out for, again, it is going to be really nice for the survivors.
We see that he hasn't really found the target yet. He's just patrolling around the gates. No survivor has touched it, which is really smart. They're waiting for the tension. The only survivor is in danger is the patient. Even with the tension or without the tension, it's just the patient who is around dungeon. Pit is starting to commit. He does have Blink on this follower. He might just try to get it down with the Blink. I think it's gonna be the case. Yes, it is going to be the case.
Yeah.
Yes, use a blink to down the patient. Exactly. His movements committing the patient with the blink, with the blink is exactly what it means. Leeching the Acrobat, it might be a 3K. There's a chance it might be a 3K just because it's Dream Witch. There's a 3K chance because he has to camp with one follower and then can chase someone else with the other follower.
The tension is going to burn out, though, so we have to keep an eye on that clock. 15 seconds, essentially. Not going to get more value out of it this game, as Acrobat should be just cleansing right now. No, he's actually running over to the door here, as Merc is going to get tagged. Has the perfume to work with, though, so Mercenary is going to be able to get the rescue and burn away this damage. Now it's going to be detention running out. You can't get this hit in time, Pit. It's going to be Mercenary in a safe spot here, so he needs to go for Patient now.
Yes, he should not chase the Mercenary near dungeon specific to. The dungeon is over here. It's way too dangerous to chase a mercenary near dungeon.
First hit on Merc, but the leech still harassing onto this patient, or the body rather, harassing the patient. Will be able to secure the down here, should be able to get it, but there is still a body here on 13MS, but it's not lethal. He needs to get another follower, as it will be that hit now. It's a blink for main body. He needs to get a leech down right now, right under that door. He's going to be able to secure it. Main body now can try and move back over to go chair just better with this leech harassing the door, and I think you're right. I don't see how they don't get a 3K, how Pit doesn't get a 3K here.
Yes. I think it's definitely a 3K for him. I'll decipher. He's doing a really good pressure, in-game pressure with...
oh, Patient picks himself up. He can't get a grapple, though. Yeah. But he doesn't have to worry about the Patient now, as long as he keeps on the mind Dungeon's location. Pit, he doesn't even know these players are behind him. Turn around, Pit, please! Oh, this is really rough here. He didn't notice both players getting behind him here, and they don't have he doesn't have a way to get a leech down right now. They're going to get a tie here. That is really, really, really rough. He didn't notice the players sneak behind him. Oh, so it will just be a tie here. Really unfortunate for Pit.
If he had paid attention to the survivors behind him, it was definitely a 3K. I believe in a different situation, he'll be able to 3K, definitely.
And yeah, I mean, you know what? Fair enough for the survivors. In the game state they are in, the best they can ask for in realism is a tie, and that's what they end up walking away with. So, you know what? Fair enough to both sides here. Pit didn't get 3 escaped there, but...
It was very, very impressive in-game pressure, very good endurance from the survivors. I definitely would fall asleep having to go through all of that game. I definitely would just give up eventually. But they did a good job just don't letting the pressure come through on them, using the resources eventually just to not get hit, just not get injured, not get it down on Pit. They only got down, the first time that happened was already when the Cypher was primed, which is very good from the survivors. They managed to kite for long enough, just stalling out for time, making sure the Cypher will get primed at the right time. Just, it was perfect from the survivors, and perfect from Pit too. It was a very impressive Cypher pressure.
Yeah, really unfortunate here for the Omni Hunter side. I really wish he would have been able to get that 3rd kill, or rather he wishes, of course, and the team wishes, but for the moment, we'll swap things back. With Fafa here, what are you thinking? What's gonna get banned against him? What's he looking to play?
Actually, I think it's just gonna be meta banned against him, and he's just gonna play something interesting, as something unusual, as he usually brings up to the table. It might be the Wu-Ching, it might be something else, it might be the Violetta. He's gonna start playing Violetta too. I don't think this is a good Violetta map, but he can try, maybe. What do you think he's gonna bring?
As you mentioned, I mean, he can play really whatever the hell he wants. He has so many characters available to him, so I definitely think if a strong meta character looks good, he has no problem pulling the trigger, playing it. Obviously, there are a lot of other characters, specialist characters he can play. Obviously, we saw the Disciple has, like you mentioned, the Soul Weaver available, some other characters that obviously a lot of practice and expertise going into, but Opera Singer, Disciple, Global Band away from him alongside Embalmer, Merc, Gravekeeper, Novelist, Fire Investigator, and the Archer. But when it comes to Fafa's characters, especially, and Pit now that he's subbed in, really they could play probably 2/3 of the Hunters in the game, and I just wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, you know what, I could see it.
They have a huge Hunter pool. They definitely they can play anything they want. So there's anything, exactly, we can expect anything. It's Darkwoods too, so we can expect anything from them.
And then the one other thing slightly concerning here with Gravekeeper and Mercenary, both global banned, is if you play the first officer this game and it gets global banned, your rescue pool is really, really thin for the rest of the series. So I think Omni have to be very careful with what characters they decide to play here.
Let's see if maybe the Escapologist will come to play or something like that. Or just a Wildling. There's also Wildling, so it just might be Wildling. It's a pretty open map. It's pretty good for Wildling too. So we have to wait and see. For the global bands, we have N and Opera Singer, global band for Fafa, so we won't see Opera Singer nor band. And for the survivors, we have Embalmer, Mercenary, Gravekeeper, Novelist, Fire Investigator, Archer. Stormfighter is already out, so just Fire Investigator, Novelist, they can probably play Acrobat or something like that. We still have a bunch of other characters to pick from. Let's wait and see what they want to do, what the strategy is going to be behind it. They probably want to pick up a tie as a survivors. They probably want to pick up a tie, and now they want to try and get more than a tie to get a round win. But let's wait and see what the strategy will revolve around.
As, yeah, we'll see which direction they are going to go here. As, again, still waiting on somebody to get into the lobby. It looks like PB Moon here still on the way in. So, obviously, just going to give a little bit of time, make sure that they can get everybody in, ready, and good to go. So, we'll wait and see here. Gotta make sure Pitt can get them invited and get out of the lobby himself. But for the moment, we'll have to wait and see. As, again, the survivors here, I think they're really in a tough situation, right? There's so many strong characters, obviously, still available for them.
Yes.
Just looking at strong survivors available, they have things like the Puppeteer, the Aeroplanist. Obviously, we've seen Perfumer a few times today, is still available for them, which they obviously haven't played. They heavily prio Enchantress in the past. Antiquarian still playable for them. So there's a lot of characters they can work with, but as always with BO5s, these rescuers really start to run out quickly. So they'll definitely have to keep an eye on which way they're going to go, especially with things like that first officer.
Yep, they have to try and prioritize a good rescuer for this round too, and not get the first officer global bans if they want to prioritize to get a longer BO5 and have a good rescue for the later rounds that is not global banned. This is the last round the survivors get global banned at. I think everyone's already in the lobby. We'll soon enter the picks and bans. This again, round 3, second half. Omni survivors, there's the YOYO Hunter. Let's wait and see what they will bring to the table.
Yeah, we'll wait and see here again, making sure everybody can get ready. They should all be good to go, so we'll get ourselves sent into the game. Here we go for our second half of the third round here on Darkwood. Seer and Prospector banned away again. Not too sure about the Prospector ban. Interesting.
That's really interesting. Maybe it's a Fluff-specific ban, target ban, because we know Fluff plays Prospector. Maybe it is a target ban. We never know. Adler and Soul Weaver! They're bringing this Papa Soul Weaver!
You know what? I respect it.
Yes, I respect it, yes. Actually, I respect the hustle because Papa does play Soul Weaver and it's a really impressive Soul Weaver too. So, definitely. Oh, Farley? Are we in Ivale? Enchantress, never mind. Enchantress. Okay. Enchantress and Antiquarian. Very strong survivors. We know Omni likes their Enchantress. Antiquarian too is a very strong survivor too. Very stable survivor. Very good harasser, very good fighter. And the Puppeteer is coming through as a third ban. As also a strong survivor, strong kiter, which usually brings Tide Turner.
Yeah, I'm curious what the Omni crew are looking to go here with these last slots. Obviously, you would love a rescuer, and they're going to ship a Scaphologist here. As again, this is going to be global banned away from them, so they're not going to be able to play it later. So, First Officer and Wildling going to have to do a lot of the work in the tail end of the series for them.
The Scaphologist, exactly. I wanted to see a Scaphologist from Omni. I was expecting it slightly, not really too much in later rounds, because I know they probably can play him. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to see in the Scapologist finally.
Magician going to come out as the fourth pick here. It's a very strong character that both of these characters have a lot of emphasis on. YOYO got it global banned as, I believe, one of their first picks of the entire day earlier in the series. Is obviously, again, both of these teams, a lot of Magician games, a lot of Magician experience, obviously a very standard character, and it will come out now officially as a perma-playable character for the side of Omnis. Again, our global ban lists are just about complete here. We have 9 survivors from both crews, and 3 hunters from the side of the Omni Hunter and Fafa. One more hunter to go here before the global ban list is completely locked away with our 24 characters that will no longer be playable. So Opera Singer, Disciple, and somebody going to be unavailable for the rest of the series. It won't be Peddler and it won't be the Soul Weaver as they've been banned away here. So what do you think Fafa's looking at here?
Maybe a smiley face, actually, maybe a smiley face or witching or something like that. He also has Hulabalu, but Hulabalu does bad against Escapologist. By the way, like Escapologist specifically counter for Hulabalu. I have to mention that he doesn't have it banned or global banned or anything. He can be like, oh, he's going Goldman. Oh, I completely forgot to.
Fair
Goldman was
enough.
not banned
I mean,
Arena. So,
yeah, you think Scopeman is strong enough here that it justifies picking it while also saving these off-roll characters that he specializes in for later in the series. So, Goatman, I mean, it's probably still the strongest hunter in the game. It's what Killer Boss played earlier on, so I'm not surprised to see the Goatman coming out here on the global ban list for both teams, but it hasn't technically, it has been locked in. He's selecting talents right now, so it's going to be the Goatman here as we wait to see what Fafa is going to run on the talent side here, but definitely interesting to see the last item to complete our global ban list.
Very interesting, actually. I never realized the Goatman was not banned or global banned. I didn't realize. I just thinking about the Hulabalu that Escapologist is pretty good against. But Escapologist kind of struggles rescuing and kiting a Goatman. So they might want to... Yeah, they're trying to protect the Escapologist, which he's pretty bad against. He's pretty good against Goatman, from what I have seen, usually from other tournaments. The spawn is pretty interesting. Nobody's at middle. They want to give middle to Goatman. I know in the later Goatman meta, they will usually just leave the middle for Goatman and spawn in like different sides of the map. Not exactly like this, but it's a pretty interesting spawn. I know it's like a Goatman specific thing. And looking at builds, I completely forgot to look at the builds. We have Board Time and Tide on both Escapologist and Magician. And we have Flywheel Tide, which is a no Board Time in this team on the Enchantress, and we have Flywheel Board Time on an Antiquarian. So we have Triple Tide. They're preparing for anything. They're just preparing for anything. So if someone with Tide gets a kite, they have 2 Tides left out. So that's a pretty good strategy too. I have seen it a lot lately.
Yeah, we'll see if Fafa just spawn in the middle here. I mean, fair enough. You're adjacent to everyone, so he can go for whoever he wants here. Problems in the bottom left. One of the 3 Tide Turners, which definitely a bit interesting to see the triple Tide Turner, but obviously it's what they decided to go for here. And with the Escapologist, a little bit easier to move some people around to be a little bit easier to rescue, but 2-2 on the first half on Pitts Dream Witch. We were tied up before then. We're still technically tied up in points, but a 3K from Fafa here puts the team in a pretty good spot going into the later portions of the series. So we'll wait and see here as we get on in round 3, half 2.
Good luck to both teams. Let's see what Goatman will chase. I actually didn't even try to. He's probably going after the Magician, yes. Yeah, he's going after the Magician.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this. We'll see it. I should have vault the window here, actually, instead of trying to set up an early cage here, which, you know what, fair enough. Get set up, get ready to go. Is going to link for the aggro first hit and secures it here. Lay's going to take an early piece of damage here.
Very interesting that the Magician didn't really try to body block with the wand. You would expect him to body block the pallet with the wand, but he didn't really try to do so. Kind of lost in this cage. I'm kind of lost too. Using the wand, I'm kind of lost on where the Magician is and where the Goatman is at. Running in the midst.
Oh, really nice by Fafa to hit the clone or hit the wand and get through the pallet. Obviously, Lays was hoping to get the stun, but beautiful movement there by the Goatman for a super early down.
Yes. Going through the pallets, and unfortunately, the Magician didn't really react on time and didn't really get the pallet stun and just dropped the pallets on the wrong side. It was a very goofy interaction, but it happens sometimes. And this couple is setting up a fog to try and like hide his positioning from the Goatman and getting this rescue a little bit easier. He can do that. It's a pretty good strategy. Just crawling a little, using the... I don't know how you call it this area, but it's the slide. Not slide, but... I don't know, the rope thingy near the house. I actually don't know Darkwood's locations that well. So, yeah. He's trying to get this down on the Magician. It was a damage rescue, I have to mention. He didn't even get the hit on the Escapologist with the fog didn't go away. The extra hit he has to get some speed boost.
He did chip the Escapologist. I'm surprised that I obviously just clearly don't know how it works because I've only seen this character played like twice, but he just needs to take the actual hit of damage.
Yeah,
interesting.
It doesn't. You have to take like a regular damage. Yes, if it's a cheap damage, it goes away. Yeah.
As yeah, Enchantress coming in. Really nice aggro hit here by Fafa. That's going to be a full stuff. He has cages. Oh, wow. Really rough here.
Yeah.
Fluff is going to go down. Has a totem to use, so can try and make something happen. Nice flywheel. But again, all we're doing right now is trying to stall to stay alive. Enchantress chipped away here, but it will be a backdoor rescue.
Luckily, the Antiquarian was backdooring. So the Enchantress got saved. She got saved completely.
Oh,
Oh, unfortunately, it missed swing. I don't think the Omni survivors are having a very good momentum right now. Unfortunately. The Antiquarian is trying to keep the Magician alive. Missing the Boston again. Unfortunately.
And then they miss another swing with the stick. He has excitement, so it wouldn't have technically mattered, but this is not Greyhole excitement now. No, he drops. Why not just excitement and swing? Really? I'm shocked by that decision. I guess it's only a chip, so he's still concerned about the overall length of it, but I'm shocked to see the drop instead of an excitement swing. But you know what? He gets the kill on Magician. He still knows where the moon is, so he's going to get right back onto the chase. Has excitement for the second hit on the Antiquarian here, so we're going to go straight on over. Moon now trying to get ready for excitement used on the double stick and gets the down here, so it's really rough tempo, but it's really good work here with the audience effect here. They will pop their second Cypher right now, but they have another one primed and then one at 4 or 2 at 40, really.
Yeah, the very good usage of the audience effect, their Cypher version is good. Despite the stuff, despite having to send two people to the rescue, the Cyphers are still pretty decent. They're not the worst. The only thing that makes me a little bit scared is the injury in this Enchantress.
Yeah, will be Efron coming in for the side rescue here. Won't really get away with a back door, but we'll get spotted out here. It has taken 1 chip of damage, is going to take a second chip right now. Still has that passive available as we'll see Fafa come upstairs now, trying to continue the Antiquarian chase here. Cage goes up, trying to catch the Anti, and drops it down, but Moon, I'm not sure what you can do here. You have a hit of stick left, but I don't really, again, just know what you can get done with it. Stalls out, but it's just going to be another cage, as we'll see the Anti stuns him into the wall here, breaks the cage, but it's a nice stall here. No cage up for a bit.
Very lucky, doing a great job delaying this hit, delaying this down, getting the Cyphers to get some progress on. They already get the Papa's before last Cypher. The last Cypher is at 42%. He's not so bad. The only thing that really does bother me is that the Enchantress is injured. She's so much injured. This composition has the passive trait he has. And the Demon is doing a great job getting a few slow falls and a tear shock, unfortunately though. But the Cypher is getting through. The Cypher getting some progress too, and it's probably gonna cheer. Probably gonna teleport maybe. I think he might teleport afterwards. Let's see if he will teleport. Yes, he's teleporting. Of course he's teleporting to Cypher and wailing. Doing some Cypher pressure. Probably trying to get it down this Enchantress, yes, on the Cypher. So he can turn the Cypher. And they are forced to either heal or start a new Cypher. Nice flywheel from the Enchantress.
Yeah, it's really good stall in terms of forcing out resentment, but unfortunately forcing out resentment is the only thing it's going to do. Is Problem's gonna have to try and figure something out while this new Cypher gets started up here. The chair gonna go down to basement. Fafa will be able to secure this in the back corner with Antiquarian and Escapologist here, trying to stay alive. They're both injured right now. Obviously, passive available still for the Escapologist still, as Problem's trying to provide some tin while this Cypher gets worked on. Moon, it's really tough to rotate over. Obviously, that backdoor rescue will come through if that's the case, but Fafa can't allow this Cypher to simply just get popped, so trying to spot out where this Tinnitus player is coming from, but there's a really difficult find here behind these wooden logs, so it is just going to be a continued bit of progress here on the Cypher. 75% now, is it will be Paul moving forward. They could be looking for an interesting escape here. Paul still has his ability left. Cage comes out here. He's just trying to stall him.
That cage was rather interesting. I'm not sure if he was trying to stall, trying to get a hit on him. He definitely cannot get this rescue though. He cannot get
really interesting interaction there. The hit comes through, sends the Escapologist forward. As it will be the Paul. Yeah, Paul's going for the rescue here. Okay, he can't make it. He walks straight through Fafa. At this point, you're just stalling for the door, but he has teleport. It
Teleportation.
almost feels honestly like panic here from Omni at the final hours. We're gonna run away from the door here for the Antiquarian Moon. Has no item to work with. Teleport from Fafa obviously maybe could have gotten away with committing the door, but it's obviously incredibly dangerous as Fafa trying to cross the map as quickly as possible here, but not gonna find anything, of course.
If you're an Antiquarian, you definitely don't want to stay on the gate because you definitely cannot make it open. You're Antiquarian with the debuff on the gates. It takes way too long and the teleport is already ready. And Problems has self-heal. I'm not sure if it is the best
He
decision
just
to
goes deeper
self-heal.
into the dungeon or the basement.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
not
he's
sure.
he's just intentionally dying at this point. He knows that there's nothing else he can do. He's trying to stall for Antiquarian. As we'll get the hit here. There's no way that we get to the door in time. 70%. Don't think there's a chance in the world we can get there and get a cage on Moon. So it's just gonna be Fafa getting away. One escape here is messed up his little bit of a cage mechanic there. Again, it doesn't matter as Moon will escape. The surrender comes out, but it's still the round win for YOYO. So they're not disappointed by any means.
You're in advantage now. The previous half was a tie from both sides in this round. The second half was 3K from YOYO Hunter and then 1 escape from the Omni survivors. They did pretty well getting that 1 escape. I was expecting the Incharge to get stuffed and maybe a 4K coming through just because of the stuff on the rescue. But they did a really good backdoor. The support from the Antiquarian was rather interesting. It brought a lot of funny interactions, but at the same time, we still bought time for the ciphers to pop, and they had audience effect speed, the audience effect boost of 12% when someone is cheered, which is pretty good too. They definitely took everything into account. It was just a very good game to try and get the 1 escape. They were definitely not expecting anything else than 1 escape.
Yeah, well, it's well done there. Obviously, still able to get a escape at least, so could have been a whole lot worse. At the end of the round, our scores, I believe, 5-3 in favor of Omni, which gives them a 2-point lead in the series. So obviously, it's a nice lead, right? Or for YOYO rather, it's a nice lead for YOYO, up by 2 points right now. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see how Omni do in the next 2 rounds to try and close or make up for that gap. As we'll see if any subs come out. No substitutions from either teams. I doubt we'll see a sub for the rest of the series unless something goes wrong and a player needs to exit for personal reasons. But maybe we'll see something for round 5. Maybe we'll see something for overtime. I know there's some survivor subs available as well. So maybe if someone feels like they're just not performing as well as they could be, they'll send themselves out for another player. But we'll wait and see here as YOYO move into the map ban phase from round 4.
What do you think is going to get banned? A smaller map, a bigger map? What do you expect?
I think that Omni are probably looking to play something like maybe that Chinatown, so I think that we're probably going to see a ban for a wheel map or maybe a hula bat map, but it is going to have to see we are a bit interesting here, but I do believe we allow teams to ban a map every round, so yeah, we are going to allow the round 4 ban, of course, as we'll see what the ban is going to be on this front. So YOYO, again, you can ban anything, just taking a peek at some of the histories here again. In round 3 against Rankers, the Omni crew won in half a round with a 4K on Chinatown from Pit's Wheel, so I wouldn't hate banning the Chinatown, but they're gonna ban Ever Sleeping again here. I believe Ever Sleeping was banned earlier, so they'll just take it off the table again.
They just don't want the tram. They just don't want the
Insta Chinatown pick from Pip. I'm not shocked. Yeah, I mean, I just think he's playing wheel. They have to ban away the wheel, which allows Pit to play the IV or the opera.
Yep. He might just play opera singer. I know he likes opera singer. And the Ivy too. Has played Ivy.
I think it just comes up to whatever. He'll play either opera singer, Ivy, or wheel, whichever one doesn't get banned by YOYO.
Yeah. Yeah, it's based, I think he will just pick one of them based on the comp the survivors will pull through. So he will see the survivors first and then we'll just pick whatever he wants. Overall, he really does need a win right now because YOYO is in the lead, and as a hunter, you definitely just want to try and get more kills in Chinatown specific. So it's just such a good map for hunters in later rounds. We definitely want to try and get more kills.
And yeah, that's the thing worth keeping in mind. YOYO have won 2 rounds. It's only a 2-point lead, but YOYO have won 2 rounds, which means if they win round number 4 here, the series is over on the spot. They walk away with it. So obviously, we're not necessarily in that full octane. We can't see an end to the series in the first half, but obviously, depending on how this goes, it is going to be the YOYO Hunter here first. There could be a lot of pressure on the Pit Stoppers side in the second half of this round.
Yes. So we're seeing YOYO's Hunter going first from what I see, and I think it's Omni Survivors. Let me check real quick.
Correct.
Again.
That's correct.
Yep, we have seen the Omni Survivors against YOYO's Hunter, which is Fafa. What do you think is gonna come from Fafa? Do you think they're gonna ban the Soul Weaver again?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think at this point, a lot of the bans, or a lot of the character picks are going to depend on what doesn't get banned, as I think that's going to be what a lot of this emphasis is on. When it comes to Fafa, obviously, the first expectation is Disciple and Soul Weaver. To me, obviously, one of those have been played. I know that there are obviously a lot of other characters they can play. I wouldn't be surprised by a Peddler coming out here. I think Peddler's been getting banned as well, though. So if it's Peddler, Soul Weaver banned, is there ever a world? I don't think it's impossible for Fafa to just also play the wheel.
Not sure if he plays wheel. I have never seen him play wheel, I think. I'm actually not sure. But he might. There's also a chance because it's such a good map. He also has Hula Balu available. So, and yeah. He can also play him. He has Heal Meta available. I don't know he plays Ivy. I don't think he plays Ivy. He's not really the sort of hunter that plays Cypher Pressure, like Dream Witch and Ivy and such. He doesn't really play those. So I'm expecting something for Chase related.
We ball with round 4 Naiad. What do you think about round 4 Naiad?
Round 4 Naiad. Naiad. Naiads. Yes, the Naiads. It also could be Geisha. We have seen Fafa playing Geisha too. It might be just be Geisha. It's not a bad map for Geisha either. So let's see from goal events. Let's list out all the goal events. There's way too many. There's from the survivors we have Gravekeeper, Archer, Novelist, Fire Investigator, Mercenary, Embalmer, Enchantress, Antiquarian, Escapologist, and for the Hunter we have Goatman, Opera Singer, and Anne. So we won't see any of these.
And yeah, again, at this point, do keep in mind the global bans should no longer change. These are going to be our 12 global bans for this half of the matchup for the rest of today, whether that is one more round and this ends up being the final round, or if we go to round 5. And again, there is still by all means a chance of seeing overtime today, so we'll have to wait and see as we move on later in the series. But again, at this point, there's nothing to hold back. Your strongest characters should be coming out every single round because you can keep playing them over and over again. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on these global bans, and what isn't banned especially is a lot of the emphasis here. And there's still a lot of characters available, right? Seer, looking at just the global bans for this half, you have obviously a lot of the standard things. You have Seer, Priestess, Aeroplanist, Puppeteer. You obviously still have some of your rescuers available, so there's a lot of things to work with here, as Fafa would love a high kill count. If he's able to secure a 3k or a 4k, a survivor tie would be able to win them the series and win them the finals outright, as Seer Prospector banned again.
He's always been this Prospector. It's really interesting he's just banning the Prospector. Really doesn't want to see Fluff's Prospector, which is, I know he plays Prospector, so he really doesn't want to see it. Let's wait and see what they'll... Yeah, Soul Weaver. Soul Weaver and Peddler, again, like last rounds. Unfortunately, we won't see the Soul Weaver, the signature hunter from Fafa. He won't see her. And they're bringing forward. For the Meteorologist. First Meteorologist in the sets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised with this. I mean, obviously, we are going to see forward meteorologists coming out here. We've seen a couple of these characters getting banned throughout today, but we'll see them picked up here, and that is what does Fafa want to play to be banning Painter?
I think he does not want to stall it for time, you know, like Painter cheer time shenanigans. He doesn't want like the cheer time to deal with the cheer time and such. Painter with Snooze is kind of broken, so he probably just doesn't want to waste time. It's probably some hunter that doesn't really have that much Cypher Pressure. Maybe so. Oh, the Dancer coming through! This is pretty good in this map too. There's like a lot of 2 stories, so she's pretty good. And acrobats. Acrobat Ben from Fafa. He really doesn't like the acrobats. Has been
And
acrobat in every single round.
yeah, I mean, we are here in absolute chaos right now, so we'll wait and to see here if we get another odd character coming out, as again, now that these global bans aren't a concern, no, that is a very standard character, Aeroplanus, but
Yes.
I'm very interested to see how this female dancer ends up going. We'll obviously have to see who's gonna be the one piloting that. Lays on the Aeroplanist, Moon on the Meteorologist, Fluff on the forward, so Paul Blem's on the female dancer.
Dancer. I really like to see Dancer being played in this map. I really like to see Dancer being played in general. I know she's not really good in like earlier rounds. She's just really good in like later rounds for support, for kiting. She does not really do well against the meta. She's not as best against the meta, but she's pretty decent in later rounds. She's a very underrated survivor.
And yeah, we'll see here, obviously, a little bit more time for our survivors to select their talents. We can see some of the pages, multiple of them called Flywheel, so definitely potentially expecting something like maybe that Breaking Wheel, where Flywheel is so strong against, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Hula as well, an option for characters that are pretty, I'm not fully countered, of course, but definitely weaker into that Flywheel, but we'll have to see here forward on a Merc Broom page, but again, we'll just wait and see exactly what we are going to get when we get our talents popped up on screen. And then obviously with only a few more seconds to lock in, any final predictions on what Fafa's looking at?
Either Hulabalu or Clown or something like that. I also realized this Chinatown, so its Clown is available.
Geisha, okay. There's one I hadn't thought about being on this map, but this is what Fafa played against Gaslighters in round 2 of their semifinal, where they were able to secure a 4K with the Geisha on Hospital. Obviously a notably different map than Hospital, but Geisha definitely another one of those characters that Fafa by no means scared to play.
Yes, he has played Geisha before, and she's a pretty decent in this map too. She's pretty decent in this map, so I don't totally disagree. She's not the best hunter out there, definitely, but since it's round 4, you literally can play anything you want. And she's also YOYO is an elite, so definitely you can just try and get the tie with this hunter, and then trying to get the tie with the survivors and everything. Just go on to round 5 and try to tie the round 5 as well.
And so yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting as spawns come out here. It's going to be a standard T, middle row, top, middle for the Meteorologist as well as Geisha. We'll see where they're going to want to spawn as Moon locks in that spawn selection. I wouldn't be surprised by Fafa in either of the top corners or the bottom middle, but it will simply be in the top left here, so can go for anybody but that Arrow. Forward's the only tide turner. Oh, no, Arrow has it as well.
Yeah, Aeroplanus also has. He's the only one without board time. Yes.
3 flywheels moment.
I think you might either go after the Meteorologist or the Dancer. The Dancer is pretty raw on Geisha because she can just spin away from the butterflies. You butterfly on the Dancer, you can just spin away on the box. She set up the box previously. She's pretty good against Geisha, actually. She's a pretty good character against Geisha. So he might just go after the Meteorologist. Under the second thought, he might just go after the Meteorologist.
Yeah, we'll get ready to go here as, again, about 10 seconds left before we move on into game. Fafa, another character in the out of the pocket here. Geisha coming in here. It can continue to be played throughout the rest of the day. Again, there are no more global bans, so Forward, Meteorologist, Female Dancer, and Geisha are all playable again in round 5 if we make it there, but for the side of Omni, making it there is not as easy as it may sound, as again, they need to secure either a round tie, which will put them at a disadvantage into 5, or they need to win this round. Obviously, if they win by 2 points or more, would be the best case situations for them, as we're getting ready to roll here. Chinatown, round 4, half 1. YOYO's Hunter Fafa with Geisha.
Good luck to both teams. We've seen the new forward skin from the Geisha. It's a pretty good skin. A pretty skin.
As we'll get straight on to the decoding here. Yes. As it will be Moon getting targeted out first, immediately moving over toward this Meteorologist, but not going to get a great sight, so he's actually going to rotate to the one person I thought he couldn't, the Aeroplanist here. It's a little bit of a delayed opening chase here, but Fafa, first Butterfly comes out, could force out some packs here, or could just try and drop this pallet, as nice bait there, Lays will get the drop safely.
Nice baits. We have to mention the Aeroplanists have a passive. He drops pallets slowly when he's alone by himself. Oh, that was That was an interesting
Not great.
drip. I think he just misclicked. Oh, he's still.
We teleport to the near cipher. That is really, really interesting. Insta thruster, but we don't have the ability ready. So, you know what? We don't have trump cards, so he started teleport. He's not gonna leave this body significantly, so he teleports low for speed.
I just noticed he has detention only. He's a detention only geisha. No trump card, detention only. Has a flower build. That's very interesting, actually. I could never. I don't think I have ever thought about a geisha teleporting to nearby cipher meet kites when I was kiting a geisha. But it's really, really interesting and really, really smart from Papa.
There's going to be forward coming for the rescue here. Just takes an early hit as he will run out. Big stun backwards as we'll see the aeroplanist here. He's used one thruster, one item, and of course his bonus pack as well as Fafa does actually see Lace jump down, so really nicely found as he gets the hit through the pallet stun. Well done again. Fafa is going to get his second down on the aeroplanist here as we do see one cipher at 99% as forward starting to come over for the re-harass Fafa contesting. But keep an eye on the audience effect. The second this player gets chaired, 12% decoding bonus for the team.
The forester is trying to get some harassment through, and vaults into the geisha, which is very, very interesting. I think he got red-lighted in... Yeah, now he used the ball. He baited the ball. He can go back to the aeroplanist.
Yeah, Fluff's still in the area, but yeah, he's not going to be able to go for anything here. He'll simply back away and allow the meteorologist to come in, which appears to be the idea as Fafa will spot them out early.
She doesn't have Titan, I have to mention. Oh, and gets hit through the clouds. Unfortunate. I think she... Oh, the teleport.
The chair! The teleport value from Geisha is so good here. Fafa, amazing forward thinking here. Early hit, then teleports to the chair. Won't be able to teleport to a cipher after this player dies, but you kill the player, so you don't care on Geisha. You just butterfly on over toward Fluff. Aeroplanist is dead, and a beautiful pair of teleports from Fafa.
Very good use of this teleport. I definitely... It's a pretty classic too. When you have teleport and it's available where you're camping, you just teleport the tier. And since Geisha has such a fast animation for teleporting, you can stop pretty easily with it. And I think this part is dead unless he tries something.
Yeah, okay, he went for an aggressive ball there. I can never hate a good attempt there. Is keep an eye on ciphers though. In the middle point of that chase on this forward, they popped two of them. They have one at 99. Looks like it should be ready to go. And of course, the meteorologist now working last cipher at 50. So they'll need to tap this 99 cipher. But obviously, the meteorologist a problem as well. No teleport is the other side problem right now to deal with. As Pavlum's full HP right now on the female dancer has borrowed time to work with, but they need to tap the close cipher, so Pavlums can tap the cipher on the way over here to finish it, and they're gonna have the prime ready essentially. Slowbox comes out here, nice flywheel to dodge it. Fafa trying to get out of the slow field, will get hit inside of it. Rescue gonna come out here onto the forward. They have the pop ready as well. They're full primed here. It's gonna be an early hit here. They're not gonna full pop commit yet. They're gonna start swinging around the cipher here. Gonna break the Slowbox forward coming in. Everybody but forward has the hop ready. It's gonna be the pop coming out here. We have the play for Fluff here, can get back to the pallets here, so really well done by the survivors right now. It will be the butterfly under the pallet here. Fluff pre-drop safely on, but it will be the jump over. Can't get the swing though. Fafa loses a bit of momentum there as Fluff again able to restabilize.
The slow vault, but yet not getting the hit. He has to try and go for the gates. Yeah, he notices that he cannot really afford to chase the forward. He's probably gonna get the tie if he doesn't try to go for the gates. Missing the wind. Unfortunately, it's windy. Missing the
able to move around. Nice flywheel from the meteorologist, dodging out the detention. Geisha gonna dash on over. He's gonna get the hit here on meteorologist. The one door hasn't been touched again at 50. Teleport available with Fluff moving across the map. Palblum's still near this last completed cipher. Is teleport to far door would catch Fluff off guard. It has just now been started. Teleport committed here. Fluff gonna get targeted now. A little bit of ball left. Swing not gonna connect here, but we can try and get the door and get this rescue here if Fluff can kite well. We need a good bit of ball usage here, but is going to flywheel, not getting good value out of it as a Fluff is going to go down here, gets the chair here. Rescue comes out back door. They need to get on this door. 51% here as meteorologist drops onto it. I think they should be up, but this is going to be close. 70%. No, it's too slow. They're going to be out here. It will be a tie here, which does still leave us at an interesting game state here, as again, Omni have some work to do, but it's definitely doable.
Yes. A really good tie from the survivors. We could see the audience effect was a difference maker. Because despite the card being very short, despite the rescue being stuffed and not going through, they still could catch up those ciphers immediately just because of audience effects. It's such a strong passive trait to have in your persona build.
And yeah, I mean, again, it has been absolutely running rampant in the eastern regions. IJL, IVL have both been absolutely abusing this audience effect strategy. And it doesn't surprise me that these top teams here, YOYO and Omni, are both adapting to the insta-changing meta here. It's such a strong strategy to, again, anytime somebody is on chair, your entire team gets 12% decoding. Combine that with accelerated decoding later in the game, and you are rushing those ciphers down. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, that earlier slow vault not connecting, Fluff getting away, put such a pain on Fafa's case here.
It was literally the game changer. Just the slow vault not getting through. I was so surprised. It's because of Geisha's.
That vault was probably the difference between a tie or a 3K.
Yeah, it would definitely be the difference maker. The reason why they buff Geisha's hitbox for next season is because of these situations. She just doesn't get the hit for some reason, and you stare at your screen and you think she should have gotten a hit, but she didn't really get it because the hitbox is pretty small. So they try to extend it for next update. So I definitely this is just a sign that the Geisha buff is gonna matter a lot in the future.
Yeah, we'll see here getting things ready to roll once again for the second half. Pit in the lobby, just waiting on one more of our survivors as well from the YOYO side as we get our global ban list updated. Again, we'll take a peek at that once it gets fully registered in and we can fully guarantee it as, again, one more survivor left to get into the lobby. But for the moment, we'll have to wait and see here as, again, 7-2 YOYO in round 1, 7-2 Omni, 5-3 YOYO, and now a tie after the first half. So if it is a tie, obviously the round will be 4-4. YOYO retain their advantage. If it's a 3K here from Pitstopper on Omni, then it will be another 5-3 round. We'll be fully tied going into round 5. And obviously, if they're able to secure a 4K, it'll be a nice 7-2 lead for the round. Obviously, we'll then put them at a 3-point advantage in the overall state of the series. So we'll have to see here. A lot of pressure on Pit to get at least a tie, but really wants a 3K as our global ban list is officially updated. First Officer, Magician, Puppeteer, Fire Investigator, Acrobat, Patient, Gravekeeper, the Professor, Archer, Goatman, Peddler, and Dream Witch, which will of course be on your screen in character select once we get going here in a moment.
Yep. There's a lot of global bans already. What definitely scares me is the First Officer and Gravekeeper bans. They probably just have to go Mercenary or Wildling. It depends on the strategy they want to go for. Or I don't think they go Escapologist. I think it's just an Omni thing. I'm not sure if they have Escapologist. I've not really seen them play Escapologist before. And for Pit, he has a bunch of Hunters. If they don't ban the Bonbon, he might play the Bonbon. I know he likes the Bonbon with the Xiaoma builds with ISO only. I've seen before. But let's see what he will bring to the table too.
Yeah, we'll get going here. Our bans are going to come out. We'll see what it is. I definitely expect Seer Antiquarian, but we'll wait and see if that is going to be the case. Seer, the first hover here. We'll wait and see what's joining it. Forward comes off the table.
So we have Seer and Forward ban. Seer ban is pretty standard. And of course, the IV Opera Singer ban. We won't see the IV and Opera Singer in the rest of the set from Pits. They have banned them before in the previous round. They will keep banning it. We're seeing the Cowboy right away. It's just better Cowboy. I think it's pretty standard too. We have seen it a lot before, and we're not really surprised to see a Cowboy from the YOYO.
As, yeah, Cowboy era playlist, definitely a little bit interesting. It's just a bit, but obviously later in a competitive BO5, it is not the biggest shock in the world to see, as obviously we'll get more and more abstract characters. Again, it is going to be Ivy and Opera banned away here, so they're allowing the wheel to remain on the table. So we'll see if that is going to be what Pit wants to run. Obviously expect maybe 4 flywheels in this game as Mercenary comes out for the last ban, so the rescue is going to be a little bit weak here, but Cowboy Arrow Perf can get it done, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Cowboy does have a debuff, and Airplane is technically a sub-rescuer, and Cowboy is technically a harasser/rescuer. He does rescue. with the lasso, so technically they're just going Weeping Clown. Weeping Clown is pretty standard too. He's also a sub-rescuer, can play Blade as a rescuer. So yeah, just going Weeping Clown, a Cowboy, Aeroplanist, a Perfumer. The only ones with the debuffs, with decoding, is just a Cowboy and the Weeping Clown, which gets kinda... It doesn't really get as made up by the Aeroplanist, has a 2% speed boost on decoding for if he touches a cipher. That one cipher has the 2% speed boost, which it's funny but also game changing. Can be game changing. Just 2% is important. The 2% is important too. Any extra percentage on decoding is important.
So, yeah, we're going to roll and continue on. Here we go. Cowboy, Arrow, Perf, and the Clown coming in here on the Chinatown side of things. What do you think Pitt's looking at here? Is it just going to be something like that wheel, Hola? Do you think he'll move a little bit more out of bounds?
I think he'll just... Wheelie's pretty good in this comp, but he might play Bonbon. He might go either Bonbon or Wheel. That's my two best bets.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see, regardless, whatever the players do choose to go. Again, we'll wait and see. Our talents are all done. Cowboy on a page called Cowboy, Odd Tide for the Arrow, Perf BT, and then Rescue, the titles of our pages. But we'll wait to see what those all actually transfer to once we get a little bit more into a game as Breaking Wheel for Pitt.
It's the wheel. We were expecting it already too, so having a wheel is... It's not so surprising, but it's also exciting. I like seeing wheel gameplay, so...
And yeah, as a wheel main myself, I'm definitely excited to see how this is going to go, as we'll get things ready to roll here on the Chinatown side. Cowboy looking at a spawn to our left middle of the screen. Clown bottom middle, Arrow bouncing around a little bit. Looks like he'll land in the middle, and then definitely expecting Perf in either the top or right middles, as Cowboy maybe bouncing around a little bit. But yeah, there we go. Just middle column with left middle for the Cowboy.
These spawns are pretty okay, yes. I don't agree with putting Aeroplanist in middle, trying to put the Perfumer in 2 stories so she can like do a few 2 stories tricks with the Perfumer. And yeah, this is a pretty standard spawn too from Pitt. Very standard. What I don't really understand is why the Cowboy has knee jerk. You would rather have board time with Flywheel against most hunters. But it can still work, not against Wheel for sure, because the snap still goes through with knee jerk. It doesn't really do anything against Wheel. But let's see what the Wheel can do and what the service can do against this Wheel.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see the windows come out here compared to something like that Tide, but obviously depending on what their page is going to look like, it's going to have a little bit of impact in terms of what they can or can't build into, so obviously we'll have to wait and see what the actual page looks like, but not the biggest concern as of now. 4 borrowed times, 2 Tide Turners, a Flywheel, and 8 windows, as we're going to get things ready to roll here. Again, a tie from a tie or worse from the Hunter here is going to keep an advantage in YOYO's favor moving into the future. If we get a 0k or a 1k, we are done. The series ends on the spot. YOYO wins 3 rounds. They are the champions, so we definitely have to keep an eye on that. Pitt needs at least a tie.
Good luck to both teams. Let's wait and see if Pitt can get the good results that he's expecting.
As it will, yeah, we'll get on rolling in here on the wheel for Mr. Pit Stoppers, as we'll see which way it is going to go forward, as, again, needs 2 kills at the very least. 3 kills gives them the dead even tie going into round number 5, and if he's able to get a 4, he'll have a nice bit of a lead, as it looks like we'll go toward Eve on the Perfumer.
Of course, has no detention. I was already like expecting the no detention wheel. Because usually when you need good results with wheel, you just bring no detention. Whenever you need a 3k, 4k, you just go all out. Because it's an all or nothing hunter. For sure.
Yeah, Pitt just gonna go for an early tag here. They burned the perf, so I wouldn't even hate just getting back in wheel form potentially, but we'll wait and see what the call is gonna be from Pitt. Looks like he might just go for a normal hit here, get his 3 chips down, as, yeah, he wants to get that insolence to make sure he has the extended spikes and try and get a little bit more value toward that second presence, as well as a target swap here, going straight on to Cowboy here. Can go for a very quick down here. Spike extension, trying to get the second chip, gets it, so he has insta-down ability onto better here. He has blink up in 5 as well, so he could blink down Cowboy here in just a few seconds.
Probably gonna be a blink down, really fast blink down on this cowboy. The issue is that the perfumer got injured in the process. I'm not sure about the cowboy decoding near the perfumer's kiting spot, because it was a pretty defenseless zone to be decoding in against a wheel.
Nice dodge.
Missing the lasso because Pit does it successfully, and then getting it down without needing to use a blink.
And yeah, look at the presence there. He's an inch away from full presence, it looks like. So this is a really, really nice start for the wheel. Almost already full pres after only one chair. So we'll see here Cypher's at 80, 77, and 49. 13 MS coming from the backside here on this clown. As we'll see which way he wants to go. Is he just going to go straight onto it? Pit gets out of the wheel form, takes a normal hit here. Full presence now as a look for the cowboy.
Very good rescue from this whipping clown. It's definitely not getting too shocked, which was looking pretty scary from Pit's movements. Not getting the pressure through, and just trying to get this down the cowboy to get him back to the chair. Let's see if he can kite out Tri-Turner. I don't think he can. He probably gonna. Oh, again, this lasso not really seeing much usage. This time he actually managed to pull it through, but he went against the wall after lassoing. He went against a wall because Pit was in a rather bad position to lasso against. To lasso too, yeah. It's a pretty interesting interaction. Luckily, the opponent has this spike kit right now, so he can just try and get this rescue successfully. He does have one to dart again, I have to mention. He's pretty lucky with his limited darters. He's the one with Titurner, and he was the one supposed to get the first rescue, and yet he had Titurner. He had the one to darter.
And yeah, he's going to get the double down opportunity here. Aeroplane is going to get stuffed on the end of the rescue here. He gets the rescue, so not stuffed, I suppose, but is still going to get hit by the full down as, again, they do pop their second Cypher here. They have full audience effect. I don't understand why we're popping our second Cypher this early into the game if we're playing audience effect, but it's the decision they make here as Aeroplanist goes down. Cowboy gonna get trapped, he'll die out here as they just have to pop the third Cypher now. As again, I'm intrigued to see so many points on these Persona pages dumped into the pads it takes to get and activate audience effect, and they just pop the second Cypher relatively quickly. Obviously wasn't immediate, but...
The unfortunate part about this game is everyone is injured. Every single person in this game is injured. And going upstairs as a wheel, as a very like good wheel player as Pit is definitely not. Oh, okay, he got stuck in the trap. It's pretty easy for him to get up in the stairs. It's not as tricky. They tried to get away from the wheel. They didn't really position themselves near the window or something like that. They just went upstairs, and the wheel can still reach them up here. Unfortunately, no. The perfume did use a perfume to try and despite herself, but unfortunately cannot really go back since Pit was just already taking that into account. And she's probably gonna just go down to a snap, or if she can follow maybe. Let's see if she can follow the snap. He's trying to bait it.
Has to just flywheel through the trap here, so it will just be the snap. We'll see what the play is from Pit. Yeah, we'll see it. Simple chair going to come out here. Fourth Cypher at 17%. That's being worked on across the map. They do have one at 85 as well, though, which will get picked up presumably later. As Peeper going to go down here on it. It should have been, yeah, it was that trump over to Peepers just to try and keep this pressure up right now. So
standard wheel play.
We'll see here.
Standard wheel play whenever we see, whenever we see like slugging wheel gameplay, we just see the trace up to Peepers very often.
As I Eat Food gonna come on the backside here. He is injured right now, gonna get tagged once, then the, of course, spike throw will get the down ability here. Is IEF able to get away from the second, so he won't go down to a snap, but he's hit by a trap, so it won't matter. Aeroplanist has no self-rescue, no exit path, so we can just drop a peeper on him and fly over to the Weeping Clown. He's still showing himself on the Cypher, so this should be a really stable 4K for the side of Pit Stompers from this point of gameplay, so it's definitely gonna be really rough here for YOYO, who are going to go into round 5 with a disadvantage, barring any godlike comeback right now in this half. So we'll see here Pit trying to tag onto the Weeping Clown here. Still has a lot of Ward Rockets to work with, as he is going to get double tagged here with spikes. Goes down to the snap, has no flywheel, so Pit, assuming he's tracking the talents here, should be able to just insta-snap, and that'll be it. Next down here, the forfeit comes out, and it's a 7-2 round for Omni.
Very well done from Pit. Everyone getting injured, I actually agree that the thing that made Pit have such a fast down was because the cowboy was decoding next to the perfumer's kiting routes. Literally, he was decoding next to the perfumer's kiting routes, which is not so smart because that Cypher is pretty defenseless, it's pretty out in the open, it's pretty accessible for the wheel too. It's very easy to spike the survivor on a Cypher. And I think maybe the Kawishi haven't been decoding that cipher, and maybe the download would be so fast. I think that maybe have been the major mistake at the beginning. Just probably didn't really communicate so properly about the cipher to be decoded, or the perfumer didn't really tell where she was going to kite in, something like that maybe. And then everyone just being injured. Unfortunately, the perfumer did take a hit at the beginning, so she was injured already, and didn't really have any time to heal because I had to try and improvise the ciphers. Because like I said, we really have to have good decoding because the cards sometimes are not so long. They did feel a lot of presence. The wheel had insolence, so it generally just was, I don't know, a very tough game at the end. Towards the end was really raw.
Yeah, so right now we have a 7-2, 7-2, 5-3, and then another 7-2. So YOYO won their round by 2, Omni won their round by 5, which leaves Omni in the lead by 3 points right now. So there's still a lot of ways this last round can go. We have 2 round wins per team, so in general, if either team wins this round, they win the series, and if it is a tie round, Omni will be favored. So it's definitely favoring Omni right now, but keep in mind, officially, no more overtime available. You either win the round or you are Omni and you win the series from tying the round. So definitely going to be a little bit interesting to see here with YOYO. They need to win that. Well, I guess, yeah, YOYO need to win this round. Omni are perfectly fine with a draw.
Yeah. Nomini is fine with the draw because they have a point lead, but Team YOYO does have the disadvantage of only the Hunter did get the 3k in the previous round instead of a 4k, and Pete got the 4k instead of a 3k, which is exactly, he didn't really need a 3k to tie everything around, but luckily he got the 4k. He even got a 4k. As most people do say, and I do say too, Will is an all or nothing character. You usually get the 4k or you get a 4 escape or a 3 escape. It's an all or nothing character. And having no attention is usually what brings you the 4k.
Yeah, definitely very risky. You leave yourself to a lot of weakness in the end game, but you're putting all of your chips in the basket to have a better early game. Obviously, the wheel had a great start there, able to get so much value, got max presence on that, basically by that first rescue, so obviously going to be in a pretty good position there, able to snowball it around, get that peeper swap, keep the tempo up, and get going on to a nice 4K. So we'll see here, Omni get a map ban, then YOYO will get a map selection, as we'll have it to see here again. So far today, we've played on a couple of different maps here, so we'll wait to see what it is going to be.
We had the round 1 Leo's Memory, we had the round 2 Moonlit River Park, we had the round 3 Darkwoods, and we had the round 4 Chinatown. We have still the smaller maps left. We didn't really see the smaller maps. And yeah, of course, by the way, all the global bands finished at the round 3. Now everything else is not global band, so the wheel is not global band. And all the survivors that were picking this round were global band as well. So for example, Cowboy, Aeroplanist are all available. The Perfumer is still available. I have been noticing that YOYO has been picking Perfumer almost nearly
They play
every
Perfumer
round.
almost every round. It's crazy.
Like, play Perfumer, do you really trust the Perfumer? I mean, she still hasn't gotten buffed, and I don't want to see that buff coming through, definitely. But yes, they have been prioritizing Perfumer, interestingly enough.
Okay, so we do get our update here, a little bit of rules discussion to make sure the teams understand the state of the game. Again, Leo's, Moonlit, Darkwoods, and China are all permabanned. Then it is going to be Omni banning away the Arms Factory, so I'm trying to remember all 4. I know there's 9 maps, I believe, so we still have Lakeside, we still have Red Church, we still have Hospital. What's the one I'm forgetting? Oversleeping.
Yeah, Oversleeping, but funny enough, Team YOYO has always been banning Oversleeping. That's why we never saw Oversleeping this set. They do have a beef with the tram. I just know they have a beef with the tram.
So where do you think they will go out of those maps? I can't imagine they would want Lakeside unless they have a specific character ready. I'm not too sure what maybe like a Violetta would thrive on, although it's been getting banned, so maybe not what they should be focusing on. But what map do you think they're looking to go here?
They have picked it already. They're picking Church.
Yeah, they do go Church.
They're picking Church. Yes, they're just picking Church. It's pretty standard. It's good for hunters and both hunters and survivors. The only thing that's tricky about it is pretty small. So hunters that can travel across the map pretty fast are very good in this map. So it's just small. It's really easy to cipher pressure and such for hunters that can travel really fast and such. Yeah, I think it's pretty good for both survivors and both hunters. It's because of those things.
As yeah, we'll see which way the starting faction is going to go. Omni having some background discussions about that while have a little bit of debate going on in the team chat here, but we'll wait for Omni to select the starting faction. That's all that actually matters for the sake of our series. So we'll wait and see it here again. If they aren't able to secure the round win for the start, for example, if they send Hunter first and they get a 4K, the series ends on the spot as they can no longer lose the round, and that will secure them the series win. So obviously we'll wish both teams the best of luck, either for Omni securing it or YOYO denying it, but that obviously only matters if it is going to be the Hunter first for Omni, which may be the wise decision to try and force that pressure, but potentially send your survivors first so your Hunter knows exactly how many kills they need. And for example, if you only need a tie to secure the series win, you can play a much more safer character, Disciple available, Bonbon available, Wax Artist available, and maybe some of those not the greatest on this map, obviously, but obviously sending your Hunter second lets you pick a safer Hunter potentially, whereas if you send your Hunter first, the survivors, they know exactly what they need as well, so they can pick a safer or riskier comp for this proper method. As we'll see exactly what it is going to be as Omni still deciding their starting faction.
Of course, if we see the Omni Hunter going first, I'm expecting the Guild Survivors to try and get the 3 escape, try to go a little bit aggressive with their gameplay, probably getting the harassers and such. Usually just bringing the harasser when you need good results of survivors, and the support too, like the support characters, support line characters. Probably gonna see something exciting, some double kiting and such. I was expecting something like that from YOYO already, since they're down points, to try and get the round win
survivors.
as well. Ooh, it's opposites. They're sending the survivors first. I see. They expecting the Hunter to do the rest of the work.
Yeah, they want to make sure that Pitt knows exactly what he needs, exactly what that game state is going to be in that second half, so that they can make a wise and informed, safe decision. As again, if you only need a kill or two, there's no reason for your Hunter to be hyper-extending for a ton. So we'll wait and see it here. Obviously, Fafa going to be coming up now in for this next game. We'll wait and see what the character is going to be. Obviously, again, just to re-understand the global bans here for the Omni Survivor and the YOYO Hunter side, it is Opera Singer, Disciple, and Goatman global banned, with the additional footnote that Peddler and Violetta have been banned for the last few rounds, so I'd expect no change there.
Yeah, they probably will ban them again, and we won't see the Violetta, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because it's such a signature Hunter for Fafa, we just won't see the Violetta. Unfortunately for everyone. Since it's Red Church, what do you expect in Red Church from Fafa?
I'm not too sure right now. Obviously, most of those meta characters are going to be pinched away. Goatman, Opera Singer, and the Peddler are going to be taken out. Ivy is obviously very playable on the map if you feel confident in it. Not necessarily sure that that's a Fafa character, though, so I'm not entirely sure where he's going to go at this point. Again, we talked about it a couple times, obviously. The character pool is extremely large. He is allowed to play something like the Geisha again if he believes Geisha will look good into the Survivor composition, so we'll obviously have to wait and see. Obviously, a lot of that is going to be up to what is officially banned and then what the survivors are playing.
I mean, Geisha does have a bunch of tricks around the windows in this map. There's a few windows that are not vaultable, but the Geisha can butterfly through. I have been getting hit by a few times by those type of tricks. I don't really know every single spot. You can glitch through the walls and glitch through the windows and such. Sometimes you really just get hit by those Geisha, Master Geisha tricks or whatever it is. But yeah, definitely Geisha's not the worst in this map, and also not the best. So I don't think he will play Geisha again, because he got a tie previously and he probably wants a 3K or a 4K, something like that, to give the survivors a bit of a leeway to just tie things out. And yeah, I do think he's gonna play something that he thinks he can 3K or 4K with. And since he didn't really have those results the Geisha, even though he got sort of fast down, he did a really good game with the Geisha before in the Chinatown map. He literally got the very fast down, and he did a pretty good chase and a good job trying to not get harassed by the forward. He did by a few seconds, but he still did a good job just baiting away the forward and cheering the openness again, and then tapping the rescue and everything. He still got the tie anyway, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're still waiting a little bit to make sure our survivors can get into the lobby. Not too sure there. Might be having an issue making sure that they can get connected and get set up. So apologies, of course, for the delay, but definitely exciting to see grand finals of the Identity V Premier Tournament here. Able to go the distance here. Obviously not going to be seeing overtime today, but definitely can't expect to see overtime every BO5. Very improbable. So still excited to go all the way. We're guaranteed to go to 5 full rounds. We're going to play both halves, with the notable exception, I suppose, if Fafa gets 4 escaped, the series ends on the spot, but I don't think that that's going to be a massive concern, so we'll wait to see here, but yeah, we're going to get, in theory, in 95% of circumstances, we're going to get all of our rounds played out, all 10 halves of IDV played in a standard BO5, so very exciting as we load on in. Is it just going to be Seer Prospector? It is indeed.
Yeah. Alex been the Seer Prospector, and expect Acrobat too. I expect Acrobat too.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see Peddler and Soul Weaver, or Soul Weaver and Peddler are my 2 leading options for the current bans, as it is going to be that one option, Soul Weaver and Peddler, going to get banned away. Nobody should be surprised. They've banned it since they've had 2 bans, essentially, is Mechanic and Forward coming out to open picks.
Mechanic is such a strong survivor, so I don't disagree. She's not banned, so especially in Red Church too, it's pretty easy to just kite in as a mechanic. There's a lot of paths, a lot of windows, a lot of everything to use to route kite with. So playing mechanic in this map is pretty safe. It's just a tie character too. They really want to get this tie. Like I already see they want to get the tie. Lucky guy. Oh my! It's like, do you know it's the strategy with 2 bots, double bot for mechanic and for lucky guy? You have to either chase mechanic or either chase lucky guy. Otherwise, you're gonna get Cypher Rush to hell. It's a pretty good strategy. I've seen it before. They're probably gonna try to do it.
And yeah, especially with some support characters, obviously once Lucky Guy starts getting chased, you can have players 99 chests. Lucky Guy comes over, taps it, gets whatever he wants. With Psychologist coming in, this is one of the characters that we haven't really seen today that I was a bit surprised wasn't maybe getting a little bit more agency. Just the pure tankiness coming out from Psycho. It will be Moon piloting that for this one, but Psycho comes in to close up our picks. So Mechanic, Forward, Lucky Guy, and Psychologist here for the Omni survivors. 4 Escape wins the series on the spot. Other than that, they need their Hunter to be able to match the success of Fafa here. So Fafa really looking for a 4K, would take a 3K obviously, but the better he does, the better chance they have of winning the series and the tournament. But what do you think here? What's Fafa looking at?
He definitely wants to try and get the 3K or the 4K. I have to mention that he did not bend Acrobat, he bent Dancer. He did bend Dancer in this map. It's been interesting.
And they didn't pick Acrobat? Whoa.
Yeah, he didn't bend Acrobat, he bent Dancer. And by the way, I have to mention that Psychologist really hasn't seen that much play lately in tournaments for some reason. I always thought she was really good, like she's a 3-hit character. Maybe because of the rising of chip hunters and whatevers. She's okay against chip hunters, but not the best. Since getting chip and getting hit afterwards is pretty easy against a route kiter. So definitely, maybe it might be one of the reasons they don't play much. Wait, X-Boy!
I respect it. It's definitely very, very, very deeply tucked in the pocket, but he's going to dig around and grab it out. So we are going to get the Axe Boy coming out here for Fafa.
It's a Robbie. The Robbie, the small Robbie guy. He's getting a buff soon too next season. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting to see here. Axe Boy coming out. I haven't seen Axe Boy in a little bit here in a tournament I've been casting for, so I'm definitely interested to see how it was. I believe the last time I saw it was a 4K on Ever Sleeping, so we'll see if Fafa is able to get that same success. We'll wait to see here what the spawns are going to be.
This is pretty interesting. They don't want to put anyone else in the middle. They just want the forward. I see. I usually put the decoders, but the mechanic, no. I would usually just spawn the mechanic in shock or something like that. Not really middle. It's mostly for the decoders, for rotation purposes. But I guess he might just chase the lucky guy from the spawn. I think he might just chase the lucky guy. From the builds, we have to see that Psycho has Tide Turner. She has Board Time Tide Turner. The mechanic has Full Kite. She's only Sui builds without Spore Time. The forward has Flywheel Board Time. Interesting that the Psycho is the one with Tides. And the Lucky Guy has Flywheel and Board Time too.
As yeah, it is going to be the top left spawn here. Psycho, Lucky Guy, and Forward, the close players, which is really nice for Paul Blum's. Going to be relatively safe here on the eastern side of the map. So we'll wait and see it here. I mean, again, we're expecting double bot. We're expecting absolute full tempo decoding here. Obviously, we'll wait to see audience effect, which could make it even more problematic here. Is full double bot decoding with full audience effect is going to be a nightmare to deal with. But the only tide turner being Psychologist could become a small problem if they become first chase.
I don't think you will chase up Psychology with this team comp because, like, there's a Lucky Guy and there's a Mechanic. You probably want to chase a Lucky Guy so you don't have two bots decoding out there. Just to make sure one of the bots is killed or potentially not out. So you definitely just probably would chase the Lucky Guy with this team comp in specific. That's probably why they gave that die turner to the Psychologist, because they were confident enough they would chase the Lucky Guy or the Mechanic. So let's see. Is this Christmas skin?
It is a little bit of festive spirit about a month and a half early. You know what? Fafa doesn't respect Thanksgiving, I suppose. We'll have to skip out one of those national holidays here in the U.S. But we'll continue onward here for the side of Lays here. It's going to be the Lucky Guy target. He did go for a gun with that parcel, so it is going to be ready to go here for the Lucky Guy. Fire going to get pulled in, not going to connect. Speed boost going to come up. Lays pre-drops the pallet here. Nice movement though so far from the Lucky Guy. As look at the cipher progress already, 80% decoding done here in total.
Hey, that's like this is ciphers for Mechanic. When someone hasn't gotten a single hit yet, it
is also worth noting no audience effect on the Mechanic, but everybody else does have it. As we will get some peepers thrown down here, another tree here, a lot of harassment going on to Lays right now. Fire getting ready to pull here, really wants the double hit, but gun gonna be ready as well. Lucky Guy gets hit by the fire, speed boost helping him get away, but again holding on to that gun right now, helping out quite a bit. Fire pull ready in 7.
They're so fast. The ciphers are so fast. I have to mention they're so fast. It's scary to look at. Mechanic ciphers
Fire ready.
Insane.
Fire pulls ready, Fire pulls ready, he's gonna pull, gets Lucky Guy down! A nice hit by Fafa here, he's gonna put a road up to try and help him get to this chair. He needs to keep this tempo up right now. It's a bot on this close cipher, but look at the cipher decoding! 60, 72, 84, 50, Forward comes in for the stun, can insta-rescue if he wants to here. We'll see here, it's gonna be the insta-rescue, almost the entire ball used by Vilulf. Fafa is still stunned here! A cipher at 99, hit pop, 60, 75, 55, Lays now getting targeted. No tide turner, but you don't need it. Gotta dodge the fireball here. The flywheel available though. Will just flywheel through the fire. No speed boost for the Axe Boy.
He still has a gun available. He didn't use it before.
Guns here. Yeah, no reason to waste it or no reason to hold it.
This is definitely so scary because the ciphers are nearly done, and the first down was not the greatest kite ever. This is insane.
Fire gets the pull. It's a nice pull again by Fafa, but look at the tempo right now. They're just going to commit to popping the second cipher here. They don't need to worry about the audience effect buff because the decoding is so supreme here. 80%, 80%, 30% here. It's so great here considering the Lucky Guy just now getting chaired for the second time. Axe Boy is still barely even past first presence marker. Looks like Psychologist is coming in here. This is the tide turner player. Cipher at 95, Cipher at 90. The 30% was stopped here.
Even if she gets flamed, she will not get stuffed. Yeah, she gets flamed, she gets hit. It's a double hit anyway, but she doesn't really get stuffed by it.
Interesting to see Paul Blum's coming over here. They will get the hit by onto the Lucky Guy. Fourth cipher completed, last at 30% here. Mechanic on the way over the road, gonna come out here. Lucky Guy should be in danger. Gonna try and grab the fire onto the Mechanic. It's a nice flywheel to make sure they can stay healthy.
Yep, good fight on the flame. A reminder that the Mechanic has no border time, so she definitely has to train to stay healthy. So in the
keep an eye on the bot at the back entrance.
They have buttons here? They don't have it, right? They have the bots here?
They have a Mechanic bot at the back entrance. They're hidden right by the door.
Yeah, it's hidden tonight here, yeah. He's near the door, crouched down. Has to try and get it down really fast. He did trump card to teleport, which is it's pretty smart. He's trying to get a double hit on this forward. Unfortunately, the flames did not come through. Just hits the forward. Trying to go back to the cipher to see if someone's there, patrolling the area. But they're just opening a new cipher. Just opening, they're just opening a new cipher somewhere else. Because the next boy you really can afford to.
As yeah, Fafa throwing down the B4U stickers while trying to grab up some new branches here. Paulblum's hiding out in the local area. I'm not sure. He should have spotted the mechanic's hat there. Yeah, Paulblum's going to have to run away. New tree comes down here. Fire ready here. We'll see if he can get the connection. Paulblum's is healthy right now as we'll be trying to get the double hit right now. Fire pole comes in. Not going to connect the mechanic though. Paulblum's nice job holding the wall. Look at Cypher, 70 and 55. It is no borrowed time for Mech, but again, Pitstopper only needs to match this.
Yeah, the Pitstopper can literally just... It's probably going to be a tie. From the space, definitely just going to be a tie. Because Mechanic is such a tie character. The rent is you the ties. And yeah, just going to cheer this Mechanic. They can probably try and get the rescue. But yeah. I don't think they will...
They're going to send the Psychologist in. They're going to prime this back Cypher. Yeah, they're going to have Psychologist take a hit, rescue with Pop ready. So we'll see here how P-Human does. Needs to not get double hit by the fire here. They have the prime in case it does happen, but obviously it's better if it doesn't. As we'll see here, Fafa getting ready here. Knows that Cypher's prime. They're ready to go here. Moon now trying to go for it. Is going to just get the rescue. The fire grabs the mechanic though, and it will be the Pop here. A little bit dangerous if he swung. He could have gotten the double down there, but obviously the rational solution, grab the mechanic and get ready to go. Mechanic now going to be working on that far door. Have to be careful of the rescue and so much here. Again, Pitstoppers only need to get the same amount of kills that Fafa gets, and Omni will win the tournament. So have to be very careful here. And teleport at the ready. Fluff not out yet as the door 80% now. Teleport to the back door here. The bot can it secure the open? It doesn't. It 98% the door. It's prime but not done. Fluff gonna get rescued here though. Yeah, mechanic not gonna die on chair here. 0% on that closed door though.
It's a snooze difference on mechanic. Exactly the snooze difference. He was able to...
Psychologist is just going to sprint for the door. Psychologist is going to try and tap the door and get out here. Door is open. Big charge swing misses! It's going to be a 3 escape from the Omni survivors here. There's no teleport, and that should be it for the round. I don't know that Fafa can get there. A beautiful call by Moon. Fafa goes for the aggro swing. He felt like he had to. He doesn't get it. It's a 3 escape for the survivors into the Axe Boy, and all Omni need, Pitstoppers, needs a single kill, and they win the tournament.
Unfortunate result from Fafa. He definitely was expecting that tie or the 3k. I think he had swung at the Psychologist before as the pop came through, because they popped the Cypher as soon as the mechanic went down by the flame. If he had swung at the Psychologist, probably he would be able to get the 3k, funny enough. Just because he didn't swing at the Psychologist after they popped the Cypher if the mechanic went down, he managed only to get the 1k.
Yeah, again, now Omni currently lead the series.
Any sort of thing you do in this game matters. Yeah.
Yeah. 22-17 right now. Omni lead the series quite healthily right now, so definitely going to be scary to see it here. Is again very dangerous. Obviously, if we get this nice escape set coming out from the survivors, if they get the 4 escape, then they will be able to win 3 rounds. And obviously, while the points may be very, very close there, the round wins would be at 3 if they get the 4 escape. So Pitstoppers, he is going to be banning all of these harass characters. Every single character with stuns, anything of the sort, all of those are going to be taken away here, or at least thought about. Maybe obviously some other characters like this mechanic, which we saw do so well, is going to become a bigger problem. But Pitstoppers, he's going to have his same global bans here of Opera Singer, Disciple, not though, that's Fafa's bans, the YOYO survivors, Hunter global bans of Peddler, Goatman, and Dream Witch. Additionally, Opera Singer and Ivy will be banned away, so Hula is available. Have a lot of other characters that can guarantee the kill. Bonbon and Disciple, the 2 that come to mind for me personally immediately, and again, a single kill wins the tournament for Omni.
He might just play Bonbon and get the tie because he's such a good hunter to stuff rescues with and to tie with. He might just play Bonbon and just try to close things out with a Bonbon. It's pretty hard to get a 4 escape when a Bonbon is specific too. So he might just go for a Bonbon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially with detention, it's a very, very, very stable in
exactly.
terms of trying to secure at least one kill, which again, it's all Pit needs. Pit does not need to win this round of Identity V. He
Doesn't.
simply needs to get a kill. He needs somebody to not get out through the doors of the dungeon. And so we'll have to see here how this goes again for a quick refresher of the global bans. Alongside Dreamwitch, Goatman, and Peddler for the Hunter, we have First Officer, Magician, Puppeteer, Gravekeeper, Archer, Professor, the side of the Fire Investigator, Acrobat, and the Patient here, all going to be a global band away from the survivors. So without playing any of them, they need to build a comp that's going to get 4 people out the doors and or the dungeon.
It's pretty stressful as a survivor to be in that position. You need a 4 escape. You have to make up a plan to get the 4 escape. You need the support characters, the harassers, the mechanic probably to just try and cipher rush. Maybe anything risky that you think that can pay off. You have to take those gambles. You just have to take those gambles to try and get the 4 escape. You have to bring risky. Everyone has to bring border time too. You can't really have the sweet builds when you need a 4 escape. You need border time in those characters too. Just to make sure that everyone can stand up at the end game and everyone can be alive at the end game. It's so stressful to be in that position. For Omni's Hunter, a bit is pretty much, he just needs a 1k. He's satisfied with losing an identity game as long as he gets 1 kill. As long as he gets 1 kill, Omni wins the world set and wins the world tournament. It's definitely just, YOYO is now right now in the spot that it's really stressful being in YOYO's position right now.
And yeah, again, it's been a wild ride to get here. YOYO were able to win their group. This is really the matchup of Group B. YOYO went 3-0 in the group. Omni in the same group went 2-1. So again, have to be careful considering these teams have seen each other. YOYO walked away in the BO3 last time, but stepping up here to the BO5, Omni are now a single chair flying into the sky away from securing the win in the Identity V Premier Tournament. I'm sure Pit will probably keep trying to get more and more kills, but obviously once he secures that first kill, for all that actually matters, he could walk away from his computer or his phone or however, wherever he's playing the game, and he could simply be done with it. Obviously, again, don't expect that, but definitely worth keeping in mind. Pit needs 1 kill regardless of how long the game goes on, so we'll have to see what he wants to play here as we wait for our survivors to ready up.
He will definitely just go for either the N or the Bonbon. Bonbon is really safe for this 1 kill too. And I have seen N gotten 4 escape before in tournaments for some reason. I have gotten her getting 4 escape. You will never think that N gets 4 escape in tournaments, but I have seen it happen before. It's a pretty odd situation. You would always think that she can guarantee 1 kill because the cats are such a strong ability. But maybe he will just pick N for that 1 kill too. It might be possible.
As yeah, we do officially.
We have to just cheer for the survivors. Now we just have to cheer for the survivors who can meet their goals or even attempt to. They have to give their best to achieve a 4 escape.
As yeah, we'll see the bans coming out, and I'm not surprised. Pit is banning away these annoying, aggravating characters. He doesn't care about good rescuers. He doesn't care about any of the things they've been playing. He cares about the characters that are going to stun him and get characters off his shoulder and away from the chairs. And for the moment, that's Clown and Cowboy, which leaves a couple open for the survivors. I believe things like Forward should be available, Prospector, Batter. I think Archer is global banned against them, so they can't go into the Archer, but there's still a couple things available for them in the pool here. Forward is almost a must pick here, I believe. Then obviously there's a lot of other characters you can go for. I think Prospector is personally my leading choice, but one thing you can't forget, you still have to do ciphers, so I wouldn't hate if they wanted to try and grab a decoder, but that's obviously going to be up to them because you have to balance the composition in very difficult ways.
A priest is pretty good too for a escape situation with the long portals, with the portal support. They definitely need a rechargeable resources character. They need like a prospector or enchantress or something like that just to have rechargeable resources as a harasser, because forward once the ball runs out, the forward is completely useless to harass with. You cannot really do anything in the end game. The ball runs out. So we have a seer band too, which is pretty similar to with. Of course, you don't want the seer out. You can do a cheeky owl to get out of the gate or something like that. You don't want to see it. So just banning the seer is pretty good too.
And yeah, Lucky Guy coming in, it obviously has a couple of supportive things. It can get a gun out of its back pocket, obviously has the ability to help decode as well. So Explorer going to be the last ban here, wants to stop these Cypher bursts from coming through. I don't hate the idea from Pit. We haven't seen Explorer all day today. This is the first time he's on the screen as a pick or a ban, and so it will be the Explorer banned away here. The Survivors, this is the last Survivor that is going to get picked regardless in this event here, so we're going to have to see what it is going to be, and there it is. We saw it banned like 4 times today, but the Prospector taken off.
The Prospector, the rechargeable resources Survivor that we were mentioning, definitely.
As here we go. We're going to give them, obviously, their classic time to get their talents underway. Obviously, no reason to rush on through. 50 seconds left on their timer here. Is definitely expecting a lot of emphasis on rescue, a lot of emphasis on support, and maybe a bit of emphasis on decoding. I'm not sure that you can afford to go full audience effect here. I definitely expect Lucky Guy to have the audience effect, partially because it makes sense, partially because the talent page is called Audience, so we'll obviously have to wait and see how many other teammates have it, but that's the one thing you can't forget. They have to decode the ciphers. They can't just keep harassing and supporting.
Exactly. They have to keep up the Cypher Rush as well. They have to harass and Cypher Rush. They have to do both things at the same time. The funny thing I have seen is the Prospector's build. It's called Tap Tap. I'm wondering what it is. I know Tap Tap is the Mind's Eye ability, but like, why would you call your Prospector build Tap Tap? That's so ominous. I find it funny.
We're getting ready to go once again here. We're going to swap things over to Pit. What do we want to play? I definitely would expect Bonbon or the Disciple. Disciple is kind of countered here a little bit by obviously that Prospector, so I wouldn't hate just going for the Bonbon or obviously just a strong character which can get down. So we'll wait and see here. Pit thinking about it a good bit. Needs to make sure to pick something before he gets locked in onto the Hell Ember. And yeah, it's just going to be a Bonbon here. It's one of the most stable things to guarantee you get your kill. So Pit going to come in here.
Unfortunately, I don't think he can do the funny Xiaoma builds that he likes so much. He has done a few times before, which is ISO only Bonbon. You need attention right now. You really need attention just to get one kill. You need attention. You can really just afford the insolence only. But let's wait and see what build he will bring and what sort of things he will try to do to prevent him from getting a Farscape.
Yeah, here we go. A little bit more time to select our talents, Pit, finishing up that talent page, getting things ready to go. I would definitely expect to see a detention coming out just to help with that pocket, but...
It's Isobon, it's not the Xiaoma build, okay? He's not the
so, yeah, we see Survivor talents coming in here. They have to make it to the end game, so they're going to commit in with the borrowed time on everybody. Windows on everybody but the forward, who is running a tide turner in place of it. Middle column with forward in the right middle. Pit stoppers. It really doesn't matter who he chases. Obviously, doesn't necessarily want to go for that Prospector. Can be very difficult in chase, but especially if he brings something like Excitement, which wouldn't surprise me even a tiny bit, I definitely think that they can really go for whoever they want here. So we'll see where he spawns. He'll be up by Prospector and Priestess.
Probably after the Prospector, yes. Probably after the Prospector. I think it's probably going to be after the Prospector. Even though the Prospector is probably going to do a 3-cypher kite, the rescue position is pretty raw. So you rescuing against a Bonbon is really, really hard. The thing about Bonbon is not really the chase, it's just a camping position. If you can manage to stuff a rescue with Bonbon, you usually can tie, guarantee that tie.
And yeah, again, doesn't even need the tie here. Only needs the one, which should be doable even without a good rescue stuff. Even if the Survivors play well, should be able to secure the 1K. Need a fantastic game here by the YOYO Survivors, who, again, need a 4 escape. They have to get everybody out, or Omni wins the tournament. YOYO comes in second place, which, again, by all means, still impressive. We started at 16 teams in the group stage, got to 8, got to 4, and now we're at our final 2. The best teams in Group B, the most difficult group to make it out of, proven by the fact that the top 2 are fully the top 2, so we'll wait and see here. We're rolling things in. Round 5, second half, grand finale ends here.
Good luck to both teams. Let's see and wait to if YOYO can make the 4-escape make the 4-escape true, or if they can just get the 1 kill and stop their dream.
As, yeah, we're getting ready to go here. We'll see if it is going to be a commit to the Prospector. Obviously, you have to be careful of a lot of things with this comp. Long portals from Priestess can really buy the team a lot of time if they get something good prepared. But regardless, we're getting ready to go on in. The lovely new Chef Bonbon skin coming out here for Mr. Pitstoppers as he's on his way over toward Eve's Prospector.
The charity skin coming through.
He's going to find the Prospector pretty early. Forward's already following the movement here of this Prospector, obviously backing away from the Cypher, so it really is up to Pit on who to chase here. Prospector's still very close, so it's a lot of room left here. Pit going to get the first bomb thrown toward the Prospector here. We'll see if it will connect. It will not. Nice dodge by Eve. Again, you can't be allowing these weak chips to hit you. Magnet 1 going to connect. This is going to be a chip here onto the Prospector, pulled into the tree for the stun. It is going to be a blink as well here for the side of Pit's Bonbon, so be careful of that here in about 20 seconds.
Already having the portal support set up, taking the portal into the outside of the church. Stunning a little, he's just doing a church loop. It's a very smart church loop to do. Stunning him against the same tree.
Same Priestess portal getting ready, it looks like, is another chip. Nice dodge there by Eve, able to get around the side of it. Is another portal set up here. He's going to be able to just take it again. Another long portal here. Really nice support work right now. Pig having to just tank all these stuns.
I already did the pallet speed drop it so the Norte can take a pallet speed boost. And getting away from here to Graveyard. The Cyphers are getting done. They're pretty slow. I have to mention they're pretty slow. But they are getting done. They have a bot on the Yep,
nice chip here, it's injured, and now it's a blink down. Really nice by Pit, and while it was a good kite, the Cypher progress is just not where they need it to be. 80, 40, 30, 15, a drop here, not even going to go for the chair here. Forces that forward ball, so he can get stunned into the chair for that nice quick rescue, but Forward has about 3/4 of the ball left. First bomb placed onto the chair. A lot of bombs getting thrown down here. He's just going to make sure this bomb hits. Big stun comes out here, gonna stuff the forward here. First chip on, hits the Prospector. Beautiful find there by the side of Pit here. Eve gonna go down. Needs this nice harass here. His lucky guy not in the area, so it's gonna be up to a forward stun here if they don't want Eve to go on chair again.
It was a pretty good manipulation of the hitbox, hitting the Prospector over there and just farming him. He's probably gonna get chair right now. I don't think the forward is not here. It's pretty risky to try and harass when you chip away from getting a single hit down. He drops the Prospector just in case to see if the forward is gonna try to stun on chair. It's very interesting they're just sending the forward again when he has a chip away from that. He's gonna get down if he gets chipped.
Yeah, again, Pit has no problem burning every single resource he has for this chair. Again, all he needs to do is re-down Eve post-rescue, and obviously if he can down the forward, it's going to be a lot harder for them to support. Look at I Eat Food. The Priestess is coming in from the side. They're giving up on the coding for the moment because they have to. Early bomb comes out onto the Priestess, now trying to set up these 2-second bombs. Going to be chips onto everyone. Chips onto Prospector, goes down! And that's going to be it. Forward has to get a beautiful stun here. Lucky guy's not in the area. If we get it down on Forward, that's the tournament here. Forward stays alive for the moment here. Pit trying to get ready. Forward has to come in for this stun on the Prospector. One good chip from Pit is going to be the game closed down. Forward coming in, and he gets the chip. That's the tournament. Omni are your champions. That's a kill on Prospector. I Eat Food picks himself up, but Pit could surrender. Congrats.
It's over now. Unfortunately, I don't think it's really hard to train for Escape a Bonbon. The camping scene, exactly as I have mentioned, the camping scene is so hard to get through. The amount of stuff I have seen lately by Bonbons in tournaments is insane. He's just such a good camping hunter. It's really impossible to... Oh, and unfortunately just the Priestess dies to the portal. And dropping the RC sticker. That's my favorite team too from IGL, by the way. Shout out to RC.
So, yeah, we'll wait to see here. Obviously, Pit gonna try and close this game up. It shouldn't be a real problem to get a 4K. Elbow Pad has guns as well. Gun comes out. Will connect around the wall there, as we'll see here. That bomb is not gonna go off here on the lucky guy. So we'll be onward here. Blink hit comes out, not gonna connect anything. As Forward simply going to back away for the moment here. Grab onto the Priestess. We'll get the chair back up here again. As obviously again, Pit gonna try and close this game out as clean as possible. Still some nice practice, but But again, Omni, your champions of the Identity via Premier Tournament here. A very close grand final when all 10 halves.
Unfortunately, yeah, they just have to accept it. They can really do anything. I don't think the survivors are still decoding, just letting out the new emote from the charity events too. That's the new emote for Bonbon. It's a pretty cute one too. I really like the skinny, like the emote, like everything about this charity event is pretty cute. Let's see if just better can get the rescue through. I think yeah, he can get the rescue. Yeah, there's still a perfume. The perfume actually saved his life. He's probably gonna try to farm this priestess. The priestess just playing with a single portal and eventually dies. The portal was pretty interesting, but I mean, what can she do to try and get away from this tier? There's a whole sea of bombs around the tier, and you're a priestess. You can really do anything against it. You don't even have Vio to counter the bombs. You just have knee jerk, so you just have to accept your destiny.
And yeah, against a Bonbon plan like this in general, you really can, with how this Bonbon plays, you can just do ciphers and take a tie, but obviously in the game state here, the tournament state that we are in, they just can't, so they have to keep trying to support, they have to keep trying to harass, and obviously Pit able to overcome here, gets a pretty nice set onto the Prospector, and will probably roll it into a 3k now, if not a 4k, but again, Omni, they knew exactly what they needed. They sent their survivors to get them put into a good situation, and now it's Pit Stoppers here trying to close it out here. Some nice cipher work being done. Nice bomb there over the wall there with the remote. Yeah, just better gonna keep running away here on the lucky guy. They're gonna do everything they can to try and get the 2 out here, or at least get unescape here. But obviously, again, the end result of this game is the same at the end of the day, regardless of how many escape from here. Just better. We'll get bombed here surely in a moment. No, only one bomb left. Big swing comes out. Not gonna get him before the pallet there. That is Pit.
The charge attack for our Bomb is one of the slowest. Is one of the slowest in the game. It's so useless. The charge attack from Bomb is like so useless actually.
Yeah, Pit's having a bit of fun with it. Throws up an RC bomb there. Not quite going to get his connection. Again, he doesn't have to full try anymore. Obviously, can close the game up as quickly or slowly as he wants to or allows. We'll see just better. Again, some rotating here. They're doing a good job cipher working. Obviously, some light efforts here from the Bonbon. Nice, able to get the bomb now. So, will be a cheer here. 13 MS in eyesight. 85% on the cipher. So, not really too sure what the forward can do. I think, yeah, Pit's just having a good time with it. He's not even going for the chair here. Might just drop him on it. No, he's just gonna keep carrying the okay, there we go. Drop the lucky guy. As we'll throw some bombs out here, try and tag on to 13 MS here, but again, these just don't really matter. Blink hit onto the forward. Should just be a forfeit. And yeah, will be the 4K for Pit Stompers to secure Omni the win here. Your champions of the IDV Premier Tournament.
As you would say, the chef, the Bonbon chef has cooked it. He has cooked.
Yeah, well done again by Pit Stoppers, obviously joined by his full Survivor team, and of course Killer Boss playing in the earlier portions of the round. They will walk home with the Grand Finale Championship and all the glory that comes with it. Obviously, still by all means, congrats to YOYO, undefeated until this moment, even defeating Omni earlier on in the tournament, but at the end of the day, they make it back to the Grand Finals to meet once again, and it will be Omni who walk away with the best of 5 wins, 3-round wins to 2-round wins, the point advantage in their favor, as well as, again, by all means, congratulations to YOYO. They played a good series today, but unfortunately, a couple key points, they fell short of their opposition in the form of Omni, and they will be able to walk away with the final championship here.
Congratulations to Omni. Definitely congratulations too for YOYO for getting so far in the tournaments. They both played perfectly in this rounds. I enjoyed watching this set a lot. Like, you could see their resilience, their skills coming through. Both teams were definitely, they were not that inferior to each other. They were pretty much leveled, I don't know, equal leveled. They were very, very good at the game. Like, they're pretty good. They have really good strategies. They brought really good gameplays. They were definitely, overall, I love watching their sets. I love watching their plays. I would watch the set over and over again if I could. Overall, just congratulations to both teams for getting this far, and congratulations to Omni for winning the World Tournaments.
So yeah, for us here at the IDV Premier Tournament for this iteration, that will be it for us. Again, congratulations to Omni for their first place, YOYO for their second place finish, and obviously all of our other 14 teams for participating from the 3rd place to the 16th place. Thank you everybody for joining us, whether you are a player, a viewer, a fan, anything of these sorts, anything in between. We appreciate you immensely, of course. Thank you to all of our lovely volunteers here, aside from myself. Obviously, I've been Colonel, that's been Kaneko, we've been here with Lolzy and all of our other lovely staff throughout the day with our referees and everything, again, in between on either end. But for us, that will be it for the Identity V Premier Tournament. Congratulations to Omni for taking it all home at the end. Be sure to keep an eye out on official channels for any updates regarding future events, anything of the sort. But for now, thank you all for watching and hope to see you again next time.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for everyone that participated in this tournament, too. Having everyone playing was really entertaining as well, and everyone giving their best. We really need that for the Identity V community.